stop by for the Nintenbyte. You got the Triforce and it feels right. Like Bowser, you can listen all night, singing peaches until the sunlight. Summer shoots her beam so bright. Master Hand always brings a fight. Catch 'em all and use that fire blast. Put the soul back to visit your past. Welcome to the Nintenbyte Podcast.
Hey everyone! Welcome to episode 27 of the Nintenbyte Podcast. We got a patch show for you guys today. No Nintendo talk today. I think he was scared of Shy Guy over there. I don't know. He decided to run away, but he'll be back next week. Don't worry about that. But we still got a pack show. We got a couple bonus guests because Nintendo made a surprise announcement. In fact, now they've made 2 surprise announcements. Is there going to be more surprise announcements? I have no idea. So let's go around and introduce everyone. First, let's start with our guest. You might see his name over there. He's better known as Chugga Conroy.
Hey, everybody. It's Chugga Conroy. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yes, Captain No Video. He's afraid of us, too.
I mean, your crown is very sharp. A lot of jagged edges.
Well, I got it from my father. It happens. Nish Quick Pops is here, or shall I call you Link?
Yeah, I am repping the 2 best Nintendo fandoms. Oh, I just dropped my Switch. Legend of Zelda and Xenoblade.
I thought it was the Nintendo fandom of Broken Switch.
We're the Switch fandom.
Yeah, hopefully Nintendo Switch 2 comes out soon. If my Switch just broke, then I don't know. It probably didn't. But anyways, thank you for having me. Very, very excited to chat about Xenoblade Chronicles X. I'm very, very happy that it got announced out of nowhere.
You were the first person I thought about when it got announced. Like, oh, God, I got to get him on.
I remember the first time I did a collab with you was when Future Redeemed was a shadow dropped out of nowhere. That was even crazier. That was in the evening at like 8 p.m. And I just get like a whole bunch of DMs. The DLC is out. I was like, oh my God, what?
Yeah, like, how do you feel about it coming out in 2 days? Like it was out of nowhere.
Yeah, that was it was like a week or like, yeah, it was like maybe like 5 days or something. And all of us were just like making videos and like that night. I was like, oh my God.
All we had before that point was just a teaser where they're like, Elvis, why? And like that was all we had. And then
Chad Rex. It was Shulk and Chad Rex and Elvis.
I still think that they made Rex like that freaking buff as a screw you to the audience for not accepting him at first.
You know what's still funny is before 3 even came out, like I saw the first reveal trailer for 3, and then we saw like Melia and Nia and some other people, and I was like, if Rex is in this game, he's gonna be like a buff Chad, he's gonna have like a chiseled beard, he's gonna be like he's gonna be like everything I imagine him to be, and everyone's like, no, Rex is not even gonna be in the game. And that was when people were still making fun of Rex, and now look at him. I knew it.
Xenoblade and interrupt everybody's introductions.
Yeah.
Dude, that's
Xenoblade fans. We just
we got lots of Xenoblade talk coming. If you can't tell, we got the 2 Xenoblade fan boys, girls,
the only 2 Xenoblade fanboys.
There we go. The big ones, the big ones. Shy Guy is here today.
Yeah. Well.
Hi, Shy Guy. I didn't know Shy Guy talked. Talk too much. We have our wild government here. What do we got going on, Thunderstash?
Howdy, partners. Well, not much. Working on a lot of game reviews. A lot.
I like the fake mustache.
Thank you. Been working on it. Yeah, just game reviews, guys. There's so many games right now. When if you're multi-platform, there's a lot to play. So, yeah, it's heavy duty right now.
Stash, are you playing Metaphor?
Look at this. This is why I got up. Okay, this is on my list. Been extremely busy with some other stuff.
Okay.
Mario Party, Ease Nordic.
Oh, nice.
Alan Wake 2,
okay. Physical
finally. Metaphor.
Yes.
Still need to finish Xenoblade Chronicles 100 Heroes.
Okay, cool.
Sonic Shadow Generations, and I got some downloaded games. It's heavy duty right now, guys.
I'm working through Sonic.
I just picked up Astrobot and Stellar Blade. They're on my shelf right now.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, I got Rise of the Ronin too.
Yeah. And I still haven't even started or played Echoes of Wisdom yet. So.
Yeah, I got Echoes of Wisdom. That's what I'm working on right now.
Yeah, this
is so good. I don't own a PS5 though. It's like the first time that I've been sad to not own a PS5.
Understandable. Mike Odyssey, or is it Mario Odyssey today?
It's the Chris Pratt version of Mario.
The Chris Pratt version. So no ass.
No what?
In the movie, Mario's got like no ass. He's got a big butt in all the games, but no ass in the movie.
The flat version of Mario. Chris Pratt flat.
Dude, your voice is
me,
smooth.
Mario. Hey, thank you so much for having me. Cool to be here talking video games and stuff. And yeah, it's happening. It's true. We're in a corner.
And I'm here as always, host of the show, retired Hercules. It's been a long journey. I've saved a lot of maidens, had to beat a lot of hydras down. And my father finally handed me the crown, taking over for Zeus. He's retiring a little bit. And you know what? I told him, well, what do I do? Because I'm the hero. So I guess that makes me retired from being a hero?
Yes.
But I can't be Zeus. So I don't know what it makes me. I'm in a weird state in my life right now. I think that's what this represents.
With Poseidon?
We don't talk about Poseidon around here. He did something to one of my maidens that I don't appreciate. Okay, there might be one more beatdown going down, is what I'm saying. Trying to get back in shape a little bit. All right. We have a packed show for you guys today. Lots to talk about. Nintendo had 2 massive announcements that we're going to dive into, and who knows if they have any implications on anything. We'll talk about that as well. And we have, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. We'll be talking about potentials of future remasters and ports and all that stuff. So why don't we go around with our host of the show? Right now we only have 3 here, so I'll go first to take one topic, and I want to make sure we get this topic right away, just in case any of our guests have to dip out. Time-wise, I'll take the how excited are we? The Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition is finally coming to Nintendo Switch. I already tell that smile on Nishquick's face should tell you all you need to know, because I already know Chugga over there. He's been grinning since even a whisper of this tweet.
Oh, I'm vibrating.
So that's gonna be a fun conversation. I'll take that one. Let's go with Eric. Or I'm sorry, Shy Guy. My bad, Shy Guy. What topic are you taking?
Let's see. I guess what other remasters or ports Nintendo games do we want to see?
All right, cool. Yeah, I figured you'd take that one. Oh, that's an easy grab bag one there.
That flows pretty well, actually.
Yeah, it flows right nice under that first topic. At least Thunderstash, what are you going to leave me the hell with?
I'm going to actually take topic number 3 about Nate the Hate teasing potential major update coming to NSO and the Nintendo Music.
Yeah, lo and behold, Nintendo Music was the update. Pretty crazy. And then I guess, what a shocker, I'm stuck with the Switch 2 topic again. That's what I do on the channel. So, it kind of makes sense. I keep getting stuck with it. All right. Let's go ahead then and get to our first topic. Oh, baby. We have Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition announced out of nowhere. There's a few you could argue, like Ryan from the Bronx and others out there that maybe teased we were going to get this. But, yeah. Look,
you know why it was out of nowhere for me is because I saw that the tweet went out at 9:03 a.m. for me Central Time. And at 9 on the dot, I was refreshing to see if anything was going to happen, Switch 2 or whatever. And then 9:01, I put my phone back on the desk. I was like, oh, whatever. And then later on, I just opened it up and I had so many Discord pings. I was like, what happened? What happened? And yeah. Well, yeah. When I saw the box art, I thought it was another piece of fan art putting the Switch logo at the top left.
Oh, sure. Understandable, especially since there was a wide belief we may never see this game come back. So having it come back is awesome. So guys, it's coming out March 20th of 2025. Not what my notes say. My notes say 24. I'm an idiot. I'll get the trailer up here, play for in a moment here. I forgot to upload it. But this is where what's cool about this topic is I don't really have to say a whole lot because we got 2 of the biggest Xenoblade fanboys on this show. To my left, your guys is right.
Hey, I'll take over your show.
Yeah, let's start with Sugar Conroy, man. You take over.
Okay. All right. Been prepared for this. Okay. All right. So I found out about this. I was tired and I fell back asleep, and I had my phone ring, and it was my girlfriend, and she's like, I was like, what, did you butt dial me? And she's like, no, you need to get on Twitter right now where I can tell you. And I'm like, okay. And then I open it up and I'm like, excuse me, which is what I tweeted in response to it. I didn't feel like I was looking at something that was real because it's just always been that one game that people have bought Wii U's for, and it was like the big reason to still own one and everything like that. And
Yeah.
in interviews they kept saying like, well, we don't have the funding to do a port of it, unfortunately. We'd like
Yeah,
to
Takahashi said that like maybe almost 5 or 6 years back now. Shows how
Yeah.
far they've come since then.
I'm guessing it's just that the series became a mega million seller and they
Yeah.
want to slap the name on anything they can
Yeah.
because I think Xenoblade 2 sold like 4 million copies. Like it sold way over
Around 3 million, I think, which is
Yeah.
like exceptional for a JRPG on only one system.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it did really well, and it's just
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
like a lot of Japanese games are like getting the attention that they deserve now because
Yeah.
like Fire Emblem does really well, Persona does really well outside of Japan. Like
Yeah.
a lot of games.
Metaphor is the fastest selling game for Atlas so
Mhm.
far. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess. Do you have like anything that you want improved for it over the Wii U? Or did you play the Wii U version?
I actually I recently beat the Wii U version, literally like this June. I rolled credits on it. I saw the cliffhanger ending and all that. So
Imagine
of course we're
living
gonna
with that
get like
cliffhanger.
closure to that.
Imagine
Um,
living with that cliffhanger for 10 years and that's all you get.
Oh
Like,
god, I'm so glad I didn't have to.
Such an unsatisfying conclusion that the gamers of now will not have to deal with.
Yeah, I was playing this game on and off for the past 2 years. Like I started it before Xenoblade 3 came out, and I was just playing it off and on. Took many breaks, and I finally beat it this year. But I think for me, the biggest thing I want improved is just the overall user experience. Like those menus, I feel like I've spent like literally hours just in those menus. If they like design them a lot better, have better navigation and better like just overall structuring of those menus, I think it'll go a long way because this is pretty funny actually. I didn't realize you could set augments on your gear until like maybe 15-20 hours into the game because it doesn't even show you that the X button is to set your augment. I'm like, that's a big deal.
There's so many steps involved with customizing your characters, and you have so many of them that frequently I just wouldn't customize characters if I was just bringing them in for like one quest.
And you have like I don't remember how many party members there are in the game, but there's a lot because of
20.
how many affinity missions you do. You keep swapping that. Oh, also like make it
Everyone's
easier to
everywhere.
get party members back on your team because I hate those hangout spots in NLA. I can never find them.
I can't. Like the thing is that it wouldn't be so bad if their hangouts didn't change based on like whether you qualify for a heart to heart or at a certain point in the story.
Oh my god,
There's
those are so
many
annoying.
I knew people who thought that they were soft locked because like Lynn wouldn't spawn at the barracks so they could start the next story mission.
That happened to me once. That happened to me twice, I think. One with Gwyn for one of the final missions, and one for L because I wanted to do his affinity mission, and L just wasn't there. Or like L, I wanted to go to his shop, and then I wanted to do his mission, but then he wasn't there, and I just changed the time, and then he was there. I was like, why?
I have a question. Can I ask a question to the Xenoblade? My last Xenoblade games were Xenogears and Xenosaga.
Oh. Mike, you played Gears?
I played Gears and I played the entire.
Did you beat the game?
Yeah, I beat all the. Well, yeah, those games are super old, like PlayStation 1.
Dude,
I played,
I beat Xenogears this year.
Yeah.
It's so good.
First of all, I'm so sorry that you beat Xenogears. I'm kidding.
So
I'm kidding.
right now we have how many Xeno games are in on Switch right now? What, 4 or 5?
Every Xenoblade game is on Switch. It's 4 games.
4 games. So for those who would like to start playing, now that we have all these games on Switch, for those who want to start playing from the beginning, where do you recommend they start? Is the Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition supposed to be the first edition?
Yeah,
the first version?
Xenoblade Chronicles
Edition is
Definitive
the-
Edition is the first. Yeah.
I would say that you could play 1 or 2 in any order, but you want to play 3 after having played the other 2.
I would say personally, I would say play 1 before 2.
Mhm.
And I don't want to say why, but to me it was more impactful to play 2 after 1. But if you want to play 2 before 1, you can, and it won't like mess anything up in terms of continuity. But
Okay.
I would say play those extra stories after the
Mhm.
base games. Like play Future Connected after 1, play Torn of the Golden Country after 2. Like don't listen to people when they say it's a prequel played before. No, I would not recommend playing Torn of the Golden Country before 2.
I had freaking people in my comments telling me that, like, why didn't you do Torn of the Golden Country first? I was like, because it has end game spoilers for the base
Yeah.
game, like at the very beginning.
Yeah, it has spoilers and just the whole like you have to have context of Xenoblade 2 to go into Torn of the Golden Country. And then Future Redeemed, you have to have context of everything before
Well,
playing it, even though it's a
original
prequel,
in-
yeah. But
The original intention for Torna was that it was going to be a chapter at the end of Xenoblade 2, and they just didn't have time to fit it in.
it
so
was
they
actually
made it
going to be in between chapter 7 and 8. So
Yes.
after Rex and everyone falls into Mortha, it was gonna cut to Jin's story in Torn of the Golden Country. I
Yeah, they
think.
just felt like it wasn't working because they needed more time, and also
Yeah.
they didn't have the development resource to make it happen. So in this trailer that we're seeing right now, instantly the character models look a lot
Yeah.
better. I think X had the nicest looking environments in the series, and it was just kind of a shame that the humans looked very plasticky, and I don't know, something
Yeah.
about the way the light hit them just didn't
The smiles
right.
were weird. I didn't like their smiles.
Yeah, I don't think the character models were like bad for the time or anything. Like plenty of games had a plasticky look back then, but I'm glad that they changed the character models though, because they were definitely the weak part of the game visually.
Yeah.
The environments, the robots, all those things looked fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
How's the voice
And-
acting throughout the entire series? Like from all the games on, or if
Oh,
not,
freaking excellent!
because I interviewed
You
Harry,
interviewed Harry McIntyre.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
and so he told me that he was in the previous game. Like, don't tell me what game you're in. I know you're in this one. What other game is he in?
Oh,
Um,
Harry McIntyre?
Yeah,
I don't think Harry McIntyre voiced in another Xeno game before.
he told me he was in another one. Yeah, he was in another one.
He's streaming Xenoblade 1 right now, so he might like be like, surprise, I'm this NPC here.
Mhm.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, the voice acting is consistently good throughout the series.
Mhm.
X is a special case because it is the one game that was localized in America, so you don't have as much British voices, if not any. I don't think anyone is British in X,
No,
right?
the alien races have British voices.
Mm.
Oh yeah, Luxor is British. I think.
Yeah, it makes sense for them for a lot of the voice to be American though, because like the people are canonically from Los Angeles.
New LA, yeah. Yeah, I like the new look. I think Elma and Lynn have changed the most because like Cross and Lau look almost the same to me, but I want to see more people. Like I was saying in the video that I made yesterday, like I want to see how like Elle and Celica and all these like alien races look, like Goetia.
Dude,
all
Celica
the-
is so freaking cute.
Yeah. And then well, what else did we see in this trailer? We didn't really see much. We didn't see like combat. We didn't see user interface. We didn't see Frontier Nav.
That's a thing that I want improved. It wasn't a problem for me, but for a lot of people I knew with bad eyesight, they couldn't read the tiny text in the game without like
Yeah.
sitting super close to the screen.
Yeah.
I want them to improve the tiny text.
Yeah, I started playing it on Wii U, and yeah, I couldn't get through it. I think I got through the cinematic, right, and then like the first little field before you even get to the city. Is it New York City, New York,
New LA, New Los Angeles.
Yeah, I know it was the new something because I got to the beginning of the city, like with the entrance, and I couldn't read. I was listening to it because I couldn't see the text. It was just way too small.
Did you try playing it on a Wii U gamepad?
Yep, I got the gamepad right here.
Yeah, playing it on a Wii U gamepad, the text, like if you're doing TV off mode,
Mhm.
the text is like artifacted because it's just so tiny and the resolution cannot support it.
Man,
Damn.
I'm gonna need Braille on the gamepad because it's not working out for me.
Like it actually has trouble rendering because the text is so small and it just doesn't have the
Crazy.
resolution for it.
Yeah, when I was doing Frontier Nav stuff, like installing probes and stuff, I had to like hold it up very close to my face.
Mhm.
Oh, also, I don't like that the definitive edition text is red. It should have been blue. I I don't know why they did that.
Maybe they'll update before that launch. I guess to be fair, the original X had a red logo originally, and then it got updated to blue as time went on. So
Yes.
this would be the first time.
The original X logo looked like Xenogears.
A lot of people thought it was like some Xenogears related project or something like
Yeah.
that early on
Because of the mechs.
mhm.
Yeah. What else?
I-
with this? Yeah.
I really want to like temper expectations a little bit because I think a lot of people go into this game expecting it to have story on par with Xenoblade 1 or, you know, the rest of the series now that's happened since. And it just isn't that kind of game. It's very exploration focused. You will get more out of the story from playing the side content. I cannot stress enough that you want to meet all the characters and do all their
Yeah.
affinity missions and everything. That is where the game really shines. But
That's
if
where a
you
lot of
just-
the story and character stuff comes in. Yeah.
if you just play the main story, it's just okay. It's like
Yeah.
it's one of the few games I've played where I can honestly say the side quests are better story-wise than the main plot. It has some of the best side quests in the entire series.
Let me ask you this: do you prefer what kind of side quests do you like the best? Do you like Xenoblade X affinity missions, Xenoblade 2 Blade quests, or Xenoblade 3 hero quests?
Probably the hero quest because later
Yeah.
on they cross over into each other in ways that I
Yeah.
didn't expect. I liked that so much, and it made the
Yeah.
world feel so connected.
Yeah, hero quests are fun. I enjoyed those. I liked affinity missions too because you had like maybe like 3 for each character, and I think they were fun. I think I like hero quests a little bit better, but affinity missions and blade quests have the problem where you kind of have to grind affinity to get them, which
Yeah,
annoying.
they're kind of a pain to unlock, and also I kind of don't like how blade quests they almost never tie into like any lore or anything like that. The closest thing that I can think of is Percival's old gang is mentioned
Yeah.
in Torna once, but you could basically remove the blade quests from the game and nothing really changes from the
Yeah.
story. Not to say they're not good standalone stories though, but they don't connect to other things as well as
Mhm.
the affinity missions in X or the hero quests in 3.
Yeah. Ooh, Luxon's breakdown just dropped. I'll check
Oh
that out
boy.
later. I wonder how long it is, but
He'll somehow mine like an hour of talking out of this
Let's
trailer
see.
that's exclusively cutscene footage.
it is an hour and 18 minutes long. I knew it.
It's just
Oh.
it's just cutscene footage that we've already seen from a game that's been out for a decade, and he somehow
Yeah. You know what's hilarious is before Xenoblade 3 came out, I like Snapchatted one of my friends that I was watching a Luxon video, and they're like, "How does anyone have 2 hours to talk about a single trailer?" And I'm like, "Dude, this is Xenoblade. Like, there's always gonna be stuff that like no one's gonna find in like the first 5 viewings of the trailer."
Yeah, I'm gonna gloat a little bit because I'm not sure if you guys
Oh yeah, I saw you predicted it
Your
My
prediction,
little-
yeah.
yeah, you see?
with Super Mario Odyssey 2.
Well, this is the trailer for the next 3D Mario. 'Cause I'm
Okay,
pretty sure
okay.
By this time, we know about the Nintendo Switch 2. and
Yes.
stuff around that time. But yeah,
We will definitely know about the Nintendo Switch 2
By March,
before
yeah.
we have Xenoblade Chronicles X on our Switch.
I would be shocked if the reveal is the final
Yeah.
week of March. That would be crazy.
Can you
I'm
imagine?
so hoping that the Switch 2 will run Switch 1 games in 4K. Like that would just be awesome.
With the AI upscaling, it's possible.
Stash, you got any thoughts on Xenoblade Chronicles X?
I'm excited for it. I'm waiting for the pre-order to drop that's not from Nintendo
Yeah.
so I can get it at a reasonable time.
Yeah.
You know, I'm hoping I can be able to at least go to the store and pick it up at maybe Best Buy, at Walmart.
I think that's what I'm gonna do too, because I don't want to do it from VGP or Nintendo, because it'll get like very heavily delayed.
I don't pre-order from GameStop. I
Yeah.
actually I have a whole system when
Mhm.
it comes to pre-ordering. The first I do is I go to Walmart if it's launch day and I want to get the game. They're across the street and they open at 6 a.m. I'm up every day at 4 a.m. So when 6 a.m. rolls around, I want to go get the game. If they don't have it, then it's Target who opens at 8. If they don't have it, then it's Best Buy who opens at 10. And
Yep.
GameStop's last because they open at noon.
Ooh.
Are you kidding
Wow.
me?
Noon? Damn.
Noon. They're open from 12 to 8. Literally, whoever opens and closes is an 8-hour shift.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, classic GameStop as
Wow.
far as corporate goes.
Wow.
Yeah, so at any rate, that's why I don't go to GameStop. So I know you mentioned them, but that is my reasoning for not going there. But yeah, I'm very excited for it. I played both Xenoblades. I played Xenoblade on Wii when it came out, and I like it much more on Switch. I didn't really love the controls on the Wii.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can imagine.
it wasn't very. It was just like when
Unless you played
Galaxy
with classic
came out.
controller, I imagine.
I was about to say it's intended for classic controller and not for Wiimote Nunchuck.
Yeah, I didn't use the Wii and Nunchuck. I definitely used my classic controller, but still, I
Yeah.
thought the controls were much better on the Switch. And
It's still weird. It's best if you have back bumpers so you can like change your arts while moving around. Yeah.
yeah, no, it
Yeah.
is definitely because that was the part that was troublesome was the arts. And then for Chronicles X, man, I haven't played it since it came out. I didn't get to play it a ton because at that time in my life, I was working probably 65, 70 hours a week.
What?
And just,
Doing what?
yeah, I did that for like 20 years managing
What did you manage?
Islands Restaurant.
You did tell me. I forgot about that.
And then 10 years, I was the director of
Yeah.
operations for Loan Depot Mortgage Company, second
knew that.
largest lender in the United States. So clearly I was freaking busy all the time. I had over 700 employees that reported to me in India. I also had my teams in Arizona and California. So yeah, dude, I was just very, very busy. So
No time
just
for
did-
JRPGs.
it's like my heart was always there. You guys know how it is. I think everyone in chat knows how it is when you really want to play these games, but like life happens, work happens,
Yeah.
your heart's there, but the time isn't. And that's why as you get older, time is the greatest currency. Money can be made. We all know that money can be made, but it's all about the time.
Yep.
If you
Yeah.
got the time, man, because it turns into the biggest currency. So I am excited now as I'm approaching 40 years old to return back to Xenoblade Chronicles X and give it a fair shake this time.
Yeah.
So
I think
players-
many of you guys here, like on the podcast and in the chat, any of you guys who love Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, I think you guys will really vibe with this game.
Mhm.
Like not for like any of like maybe the creative stuff and the puzzle solving, but this game, I genuinely think this, and I keep saying this whenever I like mention it in a video. I feel like without Xenoblade Chronicles X, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom wouldn't be the games they are today, because like when I played it, I played X in 2022, I think, and that was before Tears of the Kingdom, but after playing like hundreds and hundreds of hours of Breath of the Wild, but doing all the exploration, the frontier nav stuff, and installing all the probes and finding all the stuff and doing all these like points of interest, like exploration and all that, it really gave me that Breath of the Wild exploration spark. And
also
I was like, I never felt this way in any other open world game. Like I hadn't felt it in like Horizon or Ghost of Tsushima or any other game like that. And then it just clicked with me in X, and I was like, the verticality, the exploration, how it doesn't tell you where to go, but you have to find it yourself. And when you find it yourself, you're like, whoa, it's like, it's very, very rewarding, and it like lends in all the way like directly into how you're speccing your character and where your character is going, and like your progression system in the game. So
You also get to make your own character, and you can
Yeah.
like decide like what type of character they're going to be in battle and all that, and you can also change classes whenever you want.
Yes, it's kind of got a job system, not like your typical.
You learn new arts by getting to know people.
Yes, it's not like your Bravely Default or Final Fantasy or even like Metaphor Refantasio job system, but it's got its own spin on it, which is cool. I like it. And yes, you learn new arts and skills by doing those quests and meeting new people and stuff. It's a very, very great gameplay loop. I think all Xenoblade games are like 10 out of 10s. They're all fantastic. If I were to rank them, I might put X near the bottom, but that's only because of the story, and like the story of 1, 2, 3 are just so impactful to me. Even Xenogears, like those stories are very, very impactful to me. I love them so much. But X, I will like confidently say, gameplay wise, it is maybe either number 1 or like a close number 2 behind Xenoblade 3 in future.
I feel like movement and platforming never felt as good as it did in X,
Oh, yeah.
specifically, where just exploring the world felt fantastic.
I remember like I would play a bit of X, and then I went back to like Future Redeemed, I think, because like I played a bit of X before Future Redeemed, and then I was like, oh, it's so stiff. I'm not jumping high enough.
I'll tell you the thing that I want changed in this game so much, though, that is related to exploration. I want the ability to turn off the flight music.
Oh,
I can't stand how once you gain the ability to fly, you lose your jump button.
Yeah,
and
every time you do a short hop, you hear, don't worry about the future, it's so... Every time you just do a short hop.
A few notes, like, all the time, and it interrupts the area theme, and the area theme starts over from the beginning every time that you land, and it's like, I just want to hear the Noctilum theme while I'm flying through those trees. Is that so much to ask?
It's so goofy.
It is.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys,
because the Skell song is like that, but then Overdrive, you hear like less than 15 seconds of it because your Overdrive is done in like that short of a time.
Being able to turn off the Overdrive theme would be good too, because it goes over unique boss themes, which is kind of the same problem Chain Attacks have in 3.
Yeah. I'm still surprised they didn't patch that out in Xenoblade 3.
I wish I had time to play RPGs, because in my RPG era was my 20s, because that's when I think the PS1 was out. And yeah, I'm that old. So I went everything that had Square Enix on it and it had RPG. I was already on it.
That's what I'm at now. I'm in my RPG phase, and I'm also like binging a lot of classic Squaresoft games. Like I did Final Fantasy IX this year.
Yeah,
I did Xenogears this year. I'm gonna do Chrono Cross soon as well. I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, good. The PS1 era makes me sad because Square Enix alone was putting out like 3 or 4 games a year, and they were all amazing.
Yeah.
And we will just never hit that level of output again because everything's got to have the best graphics ever and have to take 9 years to develop.
Square is a shadow of their former self. I literally, like, I think last week, I put out a video where I was like, Square Enix is disappointing me because, like, compare them to Monolith Soft and Atlas, they're a shadow of their former self. Like, they're like, the games they're putting out are good, but the way they're going right now is just not sustainable. Comparing them to Atlas and Monolith Soft, and
it's definitely not sustainable. You want to know why? Because they never hit their sales goals.
Yeah, those 16 remake, rebirth, they cost ungodly amounts of money to make, and of course they're never gonna like meet the demands.
I heard the Rebirth had lousy sales. Is that true?
It's sort of like, it's not necessarily lousy, but it didn't meet expectations.
Okay, so like, I don't run a multi-billion-dollar corporation, but like, is it just me, or is calling something Final Fantasy VII Remake and having it not be a remake the best business decision to get people to buy the sequel?
It's completely different. It's not a remake.
I think the tough part is that it's broken up into 3 games.
When I heard that it wasn't a remake, I just didn't get it. I'm like, I'll just play the original.
Yeah.
I love it, but I think the problem is that a lot of people are waiting for all 3 of them to be out and to play all 3 of them. And a lot of people, from what I've read, are holding out for a complete edition.
Makes sense.
Yeah, like they don't want to just wait to play it all.
Yeah, they don't want to like get to the end and be like, "Oh, that's not actually the end of the game." See you next time.
In PS1 era, they had 3 different discs, right? That is like, as they came like a little pack with 3 discs. I'm like, I didn't know they were literally gonna make.
I still have it behind me.
And they literally make they're literally dividing it in parts.
There was rumors that Final Fantasy IX would be in multiple parts, and like that's when I was like, no, hell no, they can't do that. Because the thing is, I'm forgiving with 7 because 7 has a compilation, and what they're trying to sort of do is kind of bring everything from the compilation into one game, or not one game, everything from the compilation into 3 games one retelling of Final Fantasy, but 9 doesn't have anything like that, so it's kind of pointless to do a remake of 9 in 3 parts. Like, no matter how big 9 is, the like the quality and like the thing that stands out so much with 9 is that it is like a grand epic adventure you experience from like beginning to end.
Yeah, 9's one of my favorite. I like the art style. The
Yeah.
more cartoonish with Zane and the little tail and
Yeah.
everything. And then I had a little crush on the princess.
Yeah.
'Cause she
Garnet.
Garnet, yeah.
I think. I mean, look, Square. You know, they've are. I think they feel like they figured out what they're going, what the solution is for their sales problem. No more exclusive games. Basically, their words.
Yep.
To bringing everything multi-platform. Yeah, when you bring Final Fantasy VII remake and rebirth over to Switch 2, it'll probably sell decent over there.
Do you remember when people were furious about Final Fantasy going multi-platform, being, no, that's a Sony series, Xbox shouldn't have it?
Oh, when I heard people bitching about that, I'm like, oh my god! All right, for starters,
You are actually mad that more people are getting to play the game.
People get to play a game. Final Fantasy 1 through 6 wasn't on Sony.
Nintendo.
You guys are aware. You know, other Final Fantasies since 7 have been multi-platform. What are we doing?
Final Fantasy 7 was released on PC back in the day too.
Yeah, it was.
It was not a PS1 exclusive.
Yeah.
No. I mean, look, you know, it is what it is. Rebirth was fantastic. I'm almost done with it. I definitely like it a lot more than Final Fantasy 16. Not a fan of 16. I don't know what they're doing with modern Final Fantasy right now. It's just not good.
I didn't really hear anything about 16.
It's just the combat is just very stale. It just doesn't seem to get better the more of it I play, and that's just kind of frustrating. And I don't know. It's just I don't want to shit all over Final Fantasy because again, there's a lot of people who love Final Fantasy, including 16.
Play Xenoblade instead.
Yeah, play Xenoblade instead.
If you want a true RPG adventure,
even if you guys have never played a Xenoblade game, pick up X. Come on,
X is a fine place to start.
X is a good place to start. Yeah.
Series.
X is one where you do not need to have played the prior games at all.
It also might not be the worst game to start with, though, because that way you don't have like high expectations for the storytelling. And you can just enjoy the characters.
I feel like it's a great game. I feel like when Mike was asking, I'm like, nah, start with X because one, you don't have the expectations. Two,
expectations. Sorry.
Yeah. I feel like the gameplay a little bit better in X than the other ones, but then the other ones make up for it with the crazy story. So
yeah, exactly. And X's story to me isn't bad.
No, it's not bad at all.
It was just kind of incomplete, and there were I'm gonna get like a little in like the weeds here with Xenoblade, but like Takahashi has this like formula he follows, like perfect works as they call it, and X parallels perfect works quite a bit, but it's not like as in your face as Xenoblade 2 and 3 are, so it's still got that Xeno DNA to it. So if you play X and you like Xenoblade 1, 2, and 3, you're still going to get that Xenoblade experience, but it's not going to be as whimsical and adventurous as like a Klaus game is. But yeah,
it's very much sci-fi.
It is very sci-fi. Like, I haven't played Xenosaga yet, but like getting acclimated to X once again could be my like jumping off point into Xenosaga.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, one more thing I wanted to say about Xenoblade X before we move on or discuss something else is, to anyone who has played Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Future Redeemed, I actually made a video about this last year when Future Redeemed came out, and I was playing it, and after I beat it, I made this video. But there's this one concept in Future Redeemed. It's actually the main gameplay loop. It's called Affinity Goals or something. That is basically Frontier Nav, but expanded and evolved into like a new approachable concept. So if you guys have played Future Redeemed, if you remember the Affinity Goal system, keep that in mind as you play Xenoblade X, and you'll be like, whoa, this is like the building blocks for everything that they did in the final Xenoblade game. So yeah, good stuff. Yeah, it's still very relevant today. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone else want to get some final words in before we go to our next topic? Because I mean, look, we don't honestly talk a lot of Xenoblade on our show. Probably should do it a bit more often.
You should.
This Greg is like, you should tell me when I will be there. All right, I guess not. Go play the game. March 20th next year. It's a great starter game.
Yeah.
You're someone
Support the game. It didn't sell 1 million on the Wii U. It needs the Switch effect. It needs it. Yes. Go and support it.
You know, whether Switch 2 is out or not, or revealed or not by then, or pre-orders are done. Look, here's the bottom line. Backwards compatibility is probably a thing with Switch 2, so you still play and enjoy the game. And beyond that, hey, let's just be honest. Everyone in the audience, we ain't all getting Switch 2s at launch.
Yep.
It's just not going to happen.
Depends on the launch lineup.
Yeah, no. Even if it depends on the launch lineup, there just physically won't be enough of them. A lot of us will still be stuck on Switch. So, play the damn game. I'm just saying, this game needs some love. I want this game to sell very well, because maybe it'll convince them to maybe turn this into its own little side series. Yeah. Because they just wrapped up, right, with 3. And I know they probably already have another one in the works or something crazy going on that isn't related to this. But I'm just saying, if this gets a lot of love, we could see them continue this, which would be a really nice little another Xenoblade series to kind of.
They can definitely do an X2. I feel like whatever. Like, I don't want to talk about the additional story stuff too much, because that'll go into spoilers for the main game. But I think that can definitely, it can set up for a sequel, and maybe like tie it into the numbered games. I'm not getting my hopes up about that, but like at least setting up for a sequel, I think it most definitely.
Hey, Juicy J says that we sold them on it.
or a third one, Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Yeah.
Triple X.
Yep.
Like that old movie, Triple X. Anyway, God, did anyone see that movie? That movie was not great.
Hey, what about BMX Triple X?
Oh, BMX Triple X.
I have a story.
You remember that game?
Yes.
I have a story about the Triple X movie.
Sure.
So I was in, I think, elementary school when that came out.
Yeah.
And we did a field trip to a movie theater to go watch like this educational film about penguins or something. And all the other, like the movie theater like next to it was showing Triple X. And so a bunch of kids were like, we're going to sneak out and we're going to like watch that. We're just going to say we have to go to the bathroom. We're going to go watch Triple X instead. And like, they won't even notice that we're gone. So kids did that. But the thing is, the teachers anticipated that. And they had one teacher sitting in the Triple X theater, having it not actually show Triple X. It was like set up with the movie theater, and they nailed them and gave those kids detention.
That's awesome.
That's funny.
It was brilliant.
That is funny. Here, let's end it with this. I think this is a really good general question from the audience for people who have never played. $2 super chat came in from Boom Any. What is Xenoblade generally about?
Oh, that is a question. That is a loaded question. Do you want to say it first, Chugga? Because I have to think about this.
I was gonna say philosophy.
It is philosophy, identity. It is it's a story about life and existence, but basically it is also, oh man, how do I say this? It is a story about walking towards the future with
your best friend.
I don't know, dude. It's about so many things. It's about it's about like
love.
what I just
life.
said. It's about life, yeah.
Trees. Babies.
That's a good video idea for like newcomers to the series. Like, what is Xenoblade about? There's a lot of themes that like carry over between the games. Like, of course, Xenoblade 1 is about like looking to the future, and like it's also sort of about living in the present. But then Xenoblade 2 is also about like legacy, looking back at your past and understanding like what happened to your past, learning about how you can like shape your future with that. And then Xenoblade 3 is about like, of course, living in the present as well. But then it's like the story of Ouroboros like shaping the future as well. So
about death.
Yeah. It's also a story about how you should it's not a good thing to stagnate in your life.
Mm-hmm.
You have to evolve as a person. I don't know, I'm getting too philosophical and serious right now, but like that's basically what it is.
story, yeah.
And it's a story about philosophy with anime waifus and fun action and amazing music and awesome worlds and exploration. So yeah, it's great.
Blood.
And blood,
War.
I guess.
And blood. Blood and war and very complicated UI systems. And anyways,
Yeah.
it is a lot to throw at you right away when you first start playing Xenoblade. It's a lot.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, especially in 2 when the onboarding is not very good. But shout out to someone like Chugga Conroy who helped me through Xenoblade 2 with his guides. So yeah,
I have a 10-minute video that teaches you how to play the game because the game sure as heck doesn't teach you how to play the game.
Yeah, I highly suggest checking out that video. The game is very bad at explaining how the systems work and everything.
Xenoblade 2's tutorials lie to you.
they do.
Seems like we need a 4K remaster that fixes the problem. Before we even talk about that, we're ready to switch to stuff. Let's go ahead. Talk about remasters. What do we got for our second topic, Eric? Or you need me to take over for you, buddy?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I might have to dip here.
You're good.
I am not. All of a sudden, I am just
Dying.
I feel like I got punched in the face. I am roasting. My chest hurts. I don't know what the hell's going on right now. I'm sorry. I have to.
You're good, man.
I don't know what the hell.
You're good.
You feel better, man.
Yeah. It's all about taking care of
Hope you feel better soon.
Criminy.
Better, man. Take care.
Yeah,
Yeah, go take care of you.
Take some aspirin.
I did. I took some Tylenol already. I took some antacids. I don't know what the heck's going on. I mean, I sit one way and I'm fine, and then the next I shift a little bit, and all of a sudden my chest hurts again. I'm like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
So when I just hand me my Switch.
Yeah. No, you're not allowed to have your Switch. It stays with me as
right.
punishment. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
No, you're good, man.
Yeah.
Just-
Are you good?
Rest up, buddy.
Oh yeah.
he can be host for the rest of the night.
Yep.
So I'll take over here. Actually, you know what, Thunderstash, you want to take over? That way I'm not doing like all the topics.
Yeah, actually. All right, guys. So this is about the remasters, ports of Nintendo games that we want to see and why. And first, we'll start off with PH Brazil. He is rumored that we would be getting a 3DS and Wii remastered next year on Switch. So let's kind of start there as the first talking point. Let's start with the 3DS. What would you guys like to see? Nishquick, what do you got?
Kid Icarus Uprising. I would like to see that. A nice surprise might be Fire Emblem Awakening, but I don't think that needs a remaster or remake more than Kid Icarus does. But Kid Icarus is my pick. I know a lot of other people want Kirby Planet Robobot, but Kid Icarus needs it. It's a sort of like a thing with Xenoblade. I predict and wish for my remasters and remakes depending on the priority of does it need it because of sales, is it needed because of controls or optimization or quality of life. Kid Icarus needs it because of the controls and quality of life, because playing that game with dual analog would be just perfect. It would fix majority of the problems that the game has. Otherwise it was a near perfect experience.
I hear you on that. That's a really good point. And we all know the comments that have been made, of course, by Sakurai. He really wants Kid Icarus to be on the Switch. Kid Icarus has no representation, of course, outside of what? Outside of Smash Brothers and Nintendo World Championships. Of course, Kid Icarus is in there. But yeah, that's the only representation we have. So I hear you on that. Mike, what do you think?
I'm going to pick something that nobody expects. And because I think there's been rumored for a while when it comes to 3DS, I'm going to pick Animal Crossing New Leaf. I've been hearing that for a while. So Animal Crossing New Leaf.
Oh, a straight remake of that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
That would give people exactly what they've been begging for.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with that one for 3DS. What's the other from Wii U also?
Wii.
Wii. Huh. That's interesting. Mario Galaxy 2. It's another one that, people are kind of wanting to see. So those two will make a really great ports for next year. You would have said Wii U. I would have said Zelda. Zelda Wind Waker and the Twilight Princess.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Emil, what do you think?
So, I mean, you took mine with Kid Icarus Uprising, though, but I think the 3DS Kirby titles, Triple Deluxe and Planet Robobot, deserve more love, where those are fantastic games and were contenders for, are contenders for the best Kirby game.
How many Kirby games do we have right now on Switch? Do we know off the top of our head?
We have Star Allies. We have, I think, let's see, Star Allies, Forgotten Land. There's like some spin-off fighting Kirby game that I don't care about. I know that Rainbow Curse was never ported. That's one of the reasons to still own a Wii U.
Yeah, that's true. Nate, what do you think? Wii and a 3DS title.
Sorry, I was muted. When it comes to, so obviously, this was PH Brazil who said the Wii and 3DS title, and he got a bunch of the third-party ones he talked about last week. I'm going to go with, so a 3DS, I'm already on record. I put it up on Twitter today because I believe Nate the Hate might have mentioned this game earlier this year, but he didn't say directly that this was a game coming, but he's brought it up a bunch on his podcast. And it's so it makes me believe the 3DS game is Planet Robobot. I do think that is going to end up being the one they bring over. I don't, just a gut feeling. I know some people think, like, I know Andres Restart put out a video today. He thinks it's going to be Kid Icarus Uprising, which is also a really nice guess, especially when Sakurai said he wanted to do that one. But I mean, it could be anything. There's a ton of 3DS games that are not on Switch. So, I mean, it's got a vast library of Nintendo games. When I think about the Wii, look, there's only one game I want that we don't have, and I don't know why we don't have it, because it should already be here, and it should have been part of 3D All-Stars, Mario Galaxy 2.
I already said that. Yeah.
I was expecting Mario Galaxy 2 to be this year.
Why do we not have that game? No, I understand that they didn't actually remaster one, right? It was just, upscaled a bit and released with 3D All-Stars. But that's all you needed to do for that game. It doesn't need a full remaster.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I understand the Wind Waker didn't either, and then they still did it to the Wind Waker. But but if it's any other Wii game besides that, I start to go, does Twilight Princess count because it was a launch game, even though it's technically a GameCube game? But it actually released on Wii a month before GameCube, so then you could really argue, well, when it first came out, you could only play it on Wii, so it's a Wii game.
I feel like I care more about Wind Waker coming out again, though, because that was on 2 different systems that nobody bought, whereas Twilight Princess, at least most people
that's the way a lot of people feel, because Wind Waker has never had a fair shot.
Yeah. That's one reason I've been clamoring for Xenoblade X way more than Twilight Princess and Wind Waker, because I was like, you could play those games on 3 different console generations. I mean, Wind Waker was on GameCube and Wii U, so it never got the Wii boost or the Switch boost, but Xenoblade X was only on that dead system. So yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, guys, real quick, I gotta go soon, but I wanted to make one last statement before I go about remasters and remakes.
Absolutely.
So there is this is not relating to the 3DS or Wii one. There's one game that I'm still waiting on very, 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 very patiently, and I feel very confident that it's gonna be there or somewhere, and I'm waiting so much for it. I thought it was gonna be at the June Direct. I was so certain it was gonna be at the June Direct, and it's almost not even a remake, because a few of us might have played it, but I can guarantee you many of us probably haven't played it, and that is Fire Emblem Genealogy: The Holy War. Because if I remember correctly, that game didn't even get a Western release on the Super Nintendo. So it's just like Fire Emblem Gaiden, where many people just didn't play the game for Fire Emblem Gaiden and New Mystery, so that's why they got remakes. And it's gonna be the same thing with Genealogy: The Holy War. So yeah, and oh no, real quick, I think it's gonna be a pretty substantial remake. Maybe on the level of Engage in 3 Houses. So it's effectively going to be a new Fire Emblem game for majority of the Switch fan base. So that's a huge deal for me. So yeah. I'm still waiting patiently for that.
My theory about that is they titled the last remake they did Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valentia, and I thought that meant that there was going to be a Fire Emblem Echoes series that was because they could have just called it Fire Emblem Shadows of Valentia, and they didn't do that. So
Did you see Daniel
I-
Alba's box art mock-up?
no.
It's Fire Emblem Echo Shadows of Yggdrasil.
Mhm.
Yeah, Daniel Alba from Good Vibes Gaming did a nice mock-up of what it
Yeah,
could look
just,
like.
there's so many Japan only Fire Emblem games
Yeah.
that like you could make an entire series out of just remaking them.
Yeah, and after this, they can do the Tellius games, they can do the GBA games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then eventually down the line, they'll be remaking Awakening, and I'll be feeling very old. That was my first Fire Emblem game. But yeah.
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 can-
I do gotta go, but it was great talking with you guys. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for coming by, man.
Yeah, it was also fantastic talking to Chugga Conroy. Like it's awesome that I get to chat with you about Xenoblade. That's really awesome. And yeah, anyone in the chat, if you guys want more Xenoblade JRPG Nintendo stuff and coverage on Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, you can find me on Niche Quick Pops on YouTube and on Twitter. I'll see you guys. Thank you for having me.
Have a good one.
Later.
Bye.
See y'all.
Never give up, dude. Never give up.
Later.
You're giving up. Don't give up.
So to pick it up, all right. So yeah, 3DS and Wii games. I would just say, I think for me, for the Wii, it's got to be Super Mario Galaxy 2 again, and I know we've all said that. And I think I've said this many times though on the podcast over the last handful of months that there has to be a reason Mario Galaxy 2 was not included in the 3D All-Stars collection. And I've always believed it's because they're going to do a standalone release for it.
Well,
Why else would you exclude it?
I always just heard it was lack of time.
Yeah, I also think it was because they wanted to keep the three games 3D kind of all-star kind of theme to it, so they included three 3D games in the all-star. Yeah, I don't know.
Not a good enough reason.
It's not. It's not. I regret it. The second I was saying it, I was already regretting it. I'm like, what am I saying? Come on.
Oh no, you're fine. I was just saying that like if that is the reason, it's not good enough.
Yeah.
I do wonder though, guys, if the reason why we didn't get it in the 3D All-Stars collection is because they have more planned for it in the same way they took Super Mario 3D World and added Bowser's Fury to it.
I like it.
I could see them doing something substantial that justifies a standalone release for Mario Galaxy 2. I think it's more important as well because it includes Yoshi. And I think that's a good way for, I think, the younger generation to understand that, hey, you know, like these guys used to work together.
Yeah.
As for a lot of young people, they probably don't understand that, you know, especially if they've never played Super Nintendo, that Mario and Yoshi were hand in hand for the longest time, right?
Yeah.
I love Yoshi's abilities in that game so much.
I would say more
Me
back
too.
butt and back, because Mario used to sit on Yoshi's back. So
And then-
the hand in hand.
For 3DS, I mean, Kid Icarus, right? Obviously, I would love to see that. I really gotta say though that Link Between Worlds would be fantastic. I would love to see that on the Switch. I love that game. I think it's a fantastic Zelda game. And you know, it's stuck on the 3DS. It's the only place to play it. So that would be nice to see that. But I don't know. I mean, hypothetically, right? If we ever do get this Twilight Princess and Wind Waker HD, are we really, like, can we really realistically think that we could get Twilight, Wind Waker, and Link Between Worlds with all the other Zelda games on the console as well? I mean, that would just be unheard of to get that many Zelda games on any Nintendo console. So I don't know how realistic that is, but I will give another shout out to a couple other Wii games that I was thinking about. Of course, I'd love to see Punch Out. I'm a huge fan of Punch Out. Always have been. Yeah, would love to see it. Even better, this would never happen, but get Mike Tyson back in it. because he's cleaned up his life, and he's boxing again.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah, I think it could happen. I think it could happen. Yeah.
You never know. And then what else? Obviously, Metroid Prime. I am still expecting Metroid Prime 2 and 3.
Mhm.
But if we're talking Wii games, 3. And then, Wario, Nintendo's got their own plans for Wario, right? And it's basically been the WarioWare games. Wouldn't Wario Land Shake It be a good game with the Joy-Cons?
I agree with you, but that game bombed horribly in sales, and I don't know if it would be on their radar, so I don't know if I'd predict that myself, but I agree with you.
Yeah. I know it bombed, but it's like you'd be introducing it to 140 million plus Switch owners. I feel like it could do decent, but at the same time, what I want to throw out there is I just don't think Nintendo wants to go that direction with Wario Land.
Yeah.
I think they're done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just been so long.
Yeah. So that's what I would say there. Now, obviously, with getting Xenoblade Chronicles X, we have to ask, is this going to open the door to other Wii U games? And if so, what could they even be? Because there wasn't a ton of Wii U games. I have some written down, but what do you guys think? If you could pick one.
I'd love to see Nintendo Land come back. That game is fantastic, and it's just kind of a shame that it doesn't have the reputation that it deserves, I think. Being able to like locally play that game with like in portable mode with other people with multiple Switches, I'd love to see that. Me and my friends, we burned so many hours on Nintendo Land when I got my Wii U, and it was just such a fun time.
That would be pretty cool for sure. I wonder if they would do anything, any type of game that incorporated Super Nintendo world. Like, would they rebrand it?
Maybe. Yeah, that is a good point. It could be a tie-in game. Someone in the chat mentioned Yoshi's Woolly World, and that's a great idea. I love that game, and it's on Wii U and 3DS only.
That'd be good.
There's not really like a one definitive version because the 3DS version has more levels, but it's also not an HD, which the Wii U version is. So it's kind of iffy, like which one you should actually play. So that could use a game that unifies the two versions.
Like I'm always going to be an advocate, even though there's parts of the game I don't like. I would love to see Star Fox Zero get brought over. I know it's got some aspects in it that just aren't great, and I know the good parts rely too much on basically what made older Star Fox games good. So not a ton of originality, but I still really, really like the franchise. And while I do think we're going to get a new one, I totally think they're making a new one on Switch too. It'll be one of the IPs they bring back. Yep. I think for Switch, they could absolutely bring a remaster over there. And I think that would be really cool. Technically, you could argue, well, if you want a 3DS remaster, they did put it on the 3DS, the N64 version.
Right.
You could remaster that, for the 8th time.
Mike, what would you like to see from Wii U?
Well, I'm having trouble thinking about a game because every game that on Wii U that I like is already on Switch.
I got one.
You like Game & Wario?
I got one I thought about.
I do have a thought on when you were talking about Wario and then bringing him back. I do think that he is going to play a major part in the next movie for Mario. And so that will open the door for a lot of fans to kind of get to know him a little better. And then that will be a good introduction point to just bring back Wario Land,
That is a very, very good point, Mike.
Or even Mario versus Wario or something like that in the video game kind of genre. So I know the movie's coming out next 2026.
Yeah, according to your video.
Yeah.
That was earlier today, but you make a good point because if Wario was going to be in that movie, it would make total sense to get those games. Are the Wario Land games, I forget, are they on NSO for Game Boy?
I think Wario Land 4 might be. I know that Wario Land 4 was re-released on 3DS.
Yeah. I wonder if Super Mario Land 3 is on there for OG Game Boy. But at any rate, Wii U, yeah, there's Star Fox Zero.
Wario Land 3 is on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Obviously there's Twilight Princess and Wind Waker HD.
Okay.
And you know that's an easy one. That's one we've been talking about
easy
forever.
money. Both those games are easy money.
Easy money, totally. But there's one game that stands out. I just don't know that it would happen for a variety of reasons. One is because it didn't review well, but I actually did a little research earlier today when I saw what our topics were going to be. And I had seen that quite a few people have revisited this game recently, and they've had a completely different take. And they actually think it's a fantastic game now, which is interesting. And it's from channels that I've watched for some time. But again, the reviews weren't great. It probably didn't sell well, but that can be said for pretty much all Wii U titles. So I'm not going to take that into consideration too much. But the other thing I take into consideration is how many Mario RPG games that we have on Switch. Would they really release Color Splash on Switch? And that's what I'm talking about as far as Color Splash, is that I've watched some recent reviews on it of people who've played it in the last few years and saying, hey, you know what? I was wrong about this game. It's actually really good. So I don't know how you guys feel about Color Splash. But again, if that happened, think about it. How many Mario RPGs would we have on the Switch?
I haven't played Color Splash yet. I haven't played that. That one on Wii U?
A lot.
Yes, it was the last game to release on Wii U from Nintendo. I don't look. Color Splash was okay, but the problem was, I think it's the worst of all of them. It's tough to me because like they just brought Thousand Year Door back, and I think like there's a huge part of me that wants to go, I want you to go more in that direction. So let's not bring back like one of the worst games in the series. Let's focus on building on top of the last one you just re-released. But then again, there's no guarantee Nintendo's ever going to do that. So I mean, it would probably sell. The series does sell decently well. So I mean, just numbers wise, some people would pick it up.
Yeah.
Because not a lot of people have played it. Because again, Wii U.
I've always been very outspoken in my criticism of newer Paper Mario, and I've always pointed out that Origami King sales really were not fantastic. I know that people are going to be like, well, it sold like 3 million copies, though. But the thing is that it's almost unheard of for any series to not have its best-selling entry on the Switch, and it didn't even come close to selling as well as Super Paper Mario. And when considering attach rate, you know, Paper Mario 1 and 2, those sold about through 10% of the people that own those systems, and Origami King selling 3 million versus 140 million Switches, it's not even close.
Yeah, I hear you on that. It didn't sell well. Super Mario RPG is at what, like 3 million?
Yeah, I was kind of hoping it would do better.
Yeah,
I was too, you know, but hey, 3 million it's not bad.
I like how he just got up and left as I started talking about New Paper Mario. It's like he knew he could just tune me out for like the next 10 minutes. You know how this goes.
Yeah, I mean, the sales aren't bad. We're gonna have to see what the sales data looks like. I'm more interested in seeing this sales data next year for, was it Q2? I basically want to see how the Christmas sales are going to be for Switch. I want to see where Mario RPG ends up. I want to see where Thousand Year Door ends up. Games like Princess Peach Showtime, Mario vs. DK Remake, Jamboree, Echoes of Wisdom, all the Nintendo first-party titles, really. Now, some of the games I'm not really interested in seeing the sales data, like Endless Ocean. Yeah, I can already tell you what that's going to be. Another Code Recollection. not super interested in seeing the sales data.
That was this year. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, and then Emio, again, look, I don't think those are going to be big sellers at all. But I am interested to see how the Christmas sales push games like Princess Peach and Mario and DK Remake and Echoes of Wisdom and Jamboree. Because again, we all know that Nintendo does a bulk of their sales for the calendar year in the final quarter, October, November, December. So I'm more interested to see what we look like there.
Yeah, they say it's their biggest quarter. Like
It always has been. I mean, since we've been kids.
Mhm.
What is it? What did we want when we were kids?
Oh yeah,
for Christmas.
Nintendo.
Nintendo games. So yeah, nothing has changed. It's only intensified as the years have went on. So yeah, I'm definitely interested to see there. And the point is that I'm hoping Mario RPG sales improve and Paper Mario, the 1,000-Year Door sales improve. I'm not expecting big jumps for something like Origami King, obviously.
I heard that 1,000-Year Door came out like right at the end of the quarter, so the sales figures we got for the first quarter were just not accurate for like how it would actually do.
Yeah, they're not. That's why I want to see next year's sales data after we get through Christmas, because I think that'll be very telling, especially with some of these like smaller scale games like Mario vs. DK. That's a remake. That's a GBA remake. And so it's not often we're going to get something like that. It's a 20 years later, because I reviewed that game, and Mario vs. DK came out in 2004. And so obviously 20 years later, remake of a GBA game. I played it. I enjoyed it. I don't know how well it's going to sell though. You just never know, because these games could pick up steam later in life because of the Mario movie.
Yeah, and that's what I was about to bring up. We have the pre-Mario movie era and the post-Mario movie era. Even all Mario games went up after the Mario movie. I think I saw an actual report on the major news outlet. I'm not sure if it was CNN or one of those, where kids were getting more into Mario. Like, Dad, can I get a Mario game? They'll buy any Mario game. So I think that Nintendo's just setting the ground with all these, I would say, second tier Mario games, instead of the mainline Mario games, the 3D or the side scroller ones. I think they're just kind of laying the ground with all these other Mario games, just to have a lot of Mario games, because these are evergreen games. And if Switch 2 comes out,
they are.
The Switch 2 comes out, these games will kind of move forward with the system and just continue to sell, All these games are coming out at the end of the system, you know what I mean? So we know they're going to sell pretty well on Switch, but then how much more are they going to sell on Switch 2, Yeah,
no, I agree. That's something that I look at as well, is that these are evergreen titles, and with it being, presumably backwards compatible, they have a chance to sell for a long time. And then you also have to look at the landscape of things, right? In that, hey, if Xbox decides to exit the physical space, then you're down to Sony and Nintendo. And if Sony ends up deciding to eventually follow suit again, I think when it comes to physical, Nintendo would be the last one standing, just because I think Sony's business decisions would lean more towards digital as well. And so when you're the only video game company that has shelf space at the store, you can have all of your old Switch games still on the shelf. They'd be relevant, which again makes it even more evergreen if you have those games on the shelf next to Switch 2 games. 5 years down the road, you just never know.
I like my Xbox, but it does kind of feel like Microsoft treats Xbox more like a brand than a console, where everything on it just comes out on PC anyway, and they don't really care that much about you owning an Xbox. I feel like they're perfectly content with just existing in a digital space between PC and console, and that's fine. I mean, if it's working.
Yeah. I think I don't know. I guess I don't have a ton to add. I feel like we're just in a really good place and a very interesting place. And I think the future, obviously, for Nintendo right now is very bright. And I think that also still includes Switch. Tons of remasters, tons of stuff coming. Obviously, we have all the reported stuff out there with third parties. Nintendo's trying to push them to bring stuff over too. So I think everything's just sitting all kind of peachy keen right now.
Peachy.
Which, you know, there's something real peachy going on. Because Thunderstash, what's that next topic again? What are we talking about? Something to do with some music, maybe?
Nintendo. Switch.
Yeah. So this is crazy. So it's just funny because like around 2:45, 2:50 today, Arizona time, I always like to try and see if I get a little power nap in for the podcast, you know, and it's a short one. It's usually 30, 35 minutes. And it helps. I feel completely refreshed, right? And so I get a little power nap in. I wake up at like 3:30. So I slept for maybe 30, 40 minutes. I look at my phone, all these tweets.
Mhm.
And I'm like, what the heck? Because I'm like literally refreshing, checking Nintendo's Twitter throughout the day to see if anything's going to come up. And I kid you not, man. I lay down, I close my eyes for 30 minutes, and then news hits. And I see what it is, and I'm like, what? Interesting. So, again, this is going to be about the Nintendo Music.
Uh-huh.
And, again, this news hit just a few hours ago, but there's an app now on Apple, and it's on Android.
Yep.
It's only on your phone because I did try to see if I could download it on the Google Store on my computer, and I cannot. It's not compatible. Yeah. And so it's very interesting. It's for NSO members. So you have to have Nintendo Switch Online. It's basic NSO. You don't have to have expansion pack or anything.
Yep.
And you can download this app and listen to Nintendo music. And it's pretty cool because like they have it broken out by characters. If you want to like say, you know, I want to choose music that Princess Zelda's in the game, right?
Yeah.
They have it broken out by consoles, and they don't have everything on there, which like not even close.
Yeah,
They got two games for Super.
It's like 27 games. They're
Yeah.
well short.
Yeah. So you know what this feels like, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we all know what it feels like. This
course.
feels like the virtual console.
Exactly. They're going to keep updating it like every week
Yeah.
or every
Exactly.
month.
Yeah, because we want to give everyone a reason to continue
Mhm.
to keep the NSO, to continue your membership. One thing I really liked, I gotta say, is the ability to extend the song.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool because, you know, like, here's the first thing I thought of, honestly, when I heard this, and I tweeted about it. I'm like, dude, you guys need to integrate this into Alarmo.
Mm.
Because if I can listen to aquatic ambiance as I go to sleep, I might sleep better. A lot of people might sleep better. It's a fantastic song. David Wise,
Mhm.
Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah.
We all know it. We all love it. But again, like I was looking at all the games to see what there was, and there's 27 games. There's 3 for regular Nintendo. There's like 2 for Game Boy.
Yeah.
What is it? 2 for 64? There's not a lot,
You know,
but they said they're going to update it continuously, so we'll get more music. Mike, I saw your video just before the podcast, and you mentioned that you've known about this for some time because of your previous employer, right?
Yeah.
You want to talk about that or whatever you can talk about?
As you guys noticed, I didn't make a video on it. I just mentioned it because I don't feel safe making a video just yet. Maybe tomorrow or the day after. But yeah, for those of you who know, I worked for Apple for 10 years, and my job was to basically maintain the App Store. I was like the vending machine guy. If you look at the App Store, like the vending machine, I'm the guy who fills the sodas and the drinks and everything. So I fix the apps. If I troubleshoot, I help developers get their apps on the store. And so I've seen Nintendo's entire thing, right? They have their entire account, and so this is the only thing that everything else was just like on the games that got discontinued already. But this one, I saw it last year when we were helping them maintain their account. They were troubleshooting. There was Test Flight. You guys know what Test Flight is? It's like an app you download on your iPhone where you can invite testers. So we were actually helping them do a massive test for the 1,000 people for this particular app. And of course, working for Apple, you think Nintendo has ninjas? I'm sorry, they don't. They do not compare to the ninjas at Apple. It's crazy. They have a mafia or whatever. But I've been giving hints on all my videos. Every time I talk about Nintendo streaming service, I say in music and this and that, and I keep mentioning it. But I'm always scared to kind of mention the full thing. I didn't know when it was going to come out. A friend of mine gave me a heads up. Still is within there, but I had no clue that when it was going to come out. I was like, oh yeah, it's going to come out today or whatever. They gave me a heads up this morning, so I tweeted this morning. Oh, what do you think? Something exciting or whatever, right? And then I put like the little Yoda thing.
I saw that.
Yeah, but that's it. I still have information because of that I will never ever disclose at all, just because, I've only been away from Apple now for about since February, right? February I think is when I stopped. So I think that the system hasn't updated enough for me to kind of I'm waiting for the things to come out so that I can at least kind of be. It's very stressful. It's extremely stressful. Because I do Nintendo content, right? And so
yeah,
I had to sign a paper when I was working with with Apple to keep my channel because of course Nintendo is a VIP client for us at Apple, right? We have our regular developers and then we have our developers, Disney, Nintendo, Microsoft. We have all these big people, right? And then the process is extremely private. Only some people know about it. I did because I handled the App Store, right? And so it's very, very strict. You can go to jail. They'll sue you and everything. And I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, that's wild.
So when this app came out, I'm like, I took a deep breath because I've been mentioning streaming service, but I've been wanting to talk about it for a long time. Streaming service, music, Nintendo, and I don't know if this is gonna happen, but I assume that for Nintendo Switch 2, their NSO will have this. This is kind of more for NSO on Nintendo Switch to offer them on the phone. This is what I assume. Okay, when I saw the app for Nintendo Switch, I think Nintendo Switch users will have their music on here. Nintendo Switch 2 users on NSO can access their music also on the system once it comes out, because with the overhaul and everything. And of course, there's been patents that talk about the streaming service and episodes and music and sound and a whole bunch of things that have come out in the past year that kind of pointed to something like this. But yeah. I mean, wish I could talk about it because it would have helped me as a content creator, but
right.
Yeah, I couldn't at all. But it's good that it's out, and I'm happy because it's awesome. I know not everything is on there, but eventually things will start filling up. I like that you can make a little playlist and everything, of your games. My daughters are happy because it has Animal Crossing and all the little tunes and the kind of like little soothing stuff. So now it's actually playing in the living room right now on the Alexa, because we have the so it's playing there. The Animal Crossing 2 when you're in at nighttime, when it's like a whole like very, very soothing and relaxing. It's playing in the living room right now because of the app. So it's fun.
Yeah, we're gonna be playing. Yulia doesn't know it yet. She likes to fall asleep to the Zora's Domain music.
Yeah,
Breath of the Wild. And while
one.
Nintendo does not have the extension available for that one, I just checked. You can still repeat it on loop, so who cares?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna repeat that on loop on our Alexa tonight. So
on one hand, I'm glad that they're making their music available because it was so silly that they were striking down YouTube channels for uploading their music when they weren't profiting off this in any way, shape, or form, when they very easily could have just done it. But I'm going to be old-fashioned and be like, bro, just upload it to like Spotify and Apple Music. And all that crap.
Yeah, I hope this is a step towards that. Like
I
watch it
just
for yourself
and
and then
music streaming and not in a proprietary app.
yeah. Yeah, like I'm fine with the proprietary app as long as it's just a step. Like it's just first we're gonna have it for NSO, help kind of beef that up, and then we'll eventually make it available. You know, even if it's available only in a paid way through other services would be nice.
Yeah, you mean like do you mean like Apple Music, Spotify, and things
Yeah,
like that? Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I think this is the beginning, guys. I think Nintendo's kind of setting themselves up to live forever. They got the theme parks, they have the movies coming up. You know, video games are crazy. We're about to get Switch 2 around the corner, new video games. So I think they're setting themselves up for success like crazy and to live forever. Nintendo is never going away. You know, what was it? The Mario movie was the first, or at the time was the number one movie. Number two, was it? After, I think it was at number two. After
Number
first?
2, what, animated movie?
Yeah.
After highest grossing ones.
I know since then, Inside Out kind of passed it, surpassed it. But at the time, it made it over. Oh, it made a lot of money. Like,
it was officially number 3 at the time because the Lion King remake 2019 one was number 1, and Frozen 2, then the Mario movie. Now it's number 4 because Inside Out 2 obviously blew up this year. But I mean, whatever. It's the first Mario. It's the first Nintendo animated like movie theater release movie like ever. So for it to already be a $1.3 billion movie,
it's crazy, man. Crazy.
Yeah, I think most people expect that kind of output from Disney or
Disney
or Pixar, but not, Nintendo just came in there out of left field with what was it, Illumination, and killed it. So it was good to see.
I mean, like
Very
out of the top 10 grossing, this is obviously just the theatrical release movies for animated film. There's only 2 that are not made by Disney. One is Minions.
Yeah.
The other is the Mario movie.
2 elimination.
Everything else is Disney.
2 elimination movies.
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, Super Nintendo World is opening in May. And May 20 something here. It's already sold out. Epic Universe, on my backyard. And then they got Super Nintendo World, Donkey Kong Country. And then, of course, Lands of Hyrule over at Universal Studios. There's a rumor Luigi's Mansion, and Pokemon Cafe, the Pokemon Ride. There's like a lot of stuff happening with Nintendo. And Nintendo is actually hooking up Universal to become the main
park to go to. Yeah. The main attraction. I agree.
Yeah.
I've been thinking that too. Like with what Universal's done, of course, with Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if the Harry Potter IP continues to grow and expand, like if they do more movies, if they do end up remaking the movies, there's all kinds of talk always. But it's like, man, if you continue doing that, they got, of course, Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
That's a big attraction. And then with Nintendo, it's like, yeah, they're definitely setting themselves up to be the main part to go to. I mean, I know Disney will always be Disney, but at the same time, I think there's some people whose feelings have changed a little bit with Disney over the years. And, without getting into that, I think there's an opportunity there for Universal to really cut into those profits big time. So it's pretty cool that Nintendo, I think it was perfect timing, right?
It is.
For both parties. And yeah, like you said, Mike, with Nintendo, the music app, when I saw that today, that was kind of one of the things I first thought, like right as I was kind of just waking up, I'm like, very interesting. Like, this is a way for them to kind of monetize it,
Mhm.
right? Because it's within the paywall of a membership. Meanwhile, you could access it for free right now on YouTube, but then you got to think, is that going to get taken down now? That was one of my first thoughts. Is like, I wonder if there's going to be takedown notices for any of these channels that have not music playing in the background.
Mhm.
You know, like I
Nintendo's
have
a terrible
that.
way.
Yeah. But when it's just a YouTube channel that is literally a video with the music playing,
Yeah,
you got to wonder if that's going to still survive.
I read something like that. And in the terms where you can't have just something playing just for the sake of it without being either edited or with voiceover or something like that, and that implies to the music too. And I think this is the reason why, because this music. I'm almost convinced this is like a Nintendo Switch current gen way of listening to music, and then we're gonna get another way to listen to music on the next gen system. And so they're kind of setting up the Switch, kind of leaving them. Okay, guys, we're giving you some ports. We're giving you some NSO features that we're gonna be on the main console on Switch 2, just so you guys just so that the large population of Switch users are still happy and say, wait, why do you guys have music and we don't? Yeah, you do. It's by the thing. Maybe we'll have a chat. We'll have some kind of a chat thing on actual Switch. Some games you can actually chat with somebody. Here, you can chat on the app. You know what I mean? So it's like kind of, I see a little similarity between Nintendo giving us features for Switch via apps externally versus the next gen system getting really cool features on the actual system,
Yeah, it's very interesting. It'll be, I was also thinking too, it's like, all right, we got the NSO playtest, we got Alarmo, we got Nintendo Music. What more needs to be announced before Switch 2? Because you think about it, these announcements are going to do much better because they precede the announcement of Switch 2, right? Because if you announce Switch 2 and then you announce this stuff, it's like people will be like, yeah, that's cool, but we're Switch 2, right?
Yeah.
Like, we care about Switch 2. That's the information we want. It's better that these announcements, I think, are coming before Switch 2, which leads me again to ask the question, do they have anything else you think that is out of left field to announce before Switch 2?
I think so.
You think there's another left field?
I think so. Because I've been saying, look, their Nintendo Direct normally fills in the first half of next year, right? They already have January with Donkey Kong. They still have February to fill in. They got March now with Xenoblade Chronicles X. I call it 10. Somebody almost yelled at me. X. Like, how dare you? That hurt so much that you called it 10. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'm not with an aiming. But I would say that at least the first 5 months of next year, for Nintendo Switch games, they should, kind of fill in that first, waiting period while we wait for Switch 2 to come out, have something lined up. So I think that at least we have at least one or two more announcements to go. I got some.
We know Metroid Prime 2 and 3. Like, you have to. I've said this so many times. You absolutely have to release these games. And it doesn't matter how much the stories connect or not. People want to play 2 and 3 before they play 4. They want to be bought in to playing all 4 of them. If you just release Metroid Prime 1, you skip 2 and 3, and then you release 4. Again, you got all these people who are like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, I've never played 2 and 3. I didn't own a GameCube. I didn't own a Wii. I have no way of playing this. Are you guys seriously just expecting us to watch the first movie and then watch the 4th one and not watch 2 and 3? Like, that's how people conceptualize it. So it's like, you got to get those games out in February. Why not? Metroid Prime 4 is coming out next year. If February is an open month, take it. Unless it's going to shadow drop sometime this year, which it could.
Yeah. These are all Nintendo Direct announcements they're giving us. Xenoblade Chronicles X, really? on X?
I mean, yeah, this isn't like unusual though. Nintendo's done these things before. That's why there's like that name that goes around called Twitter Directs.
X Direct.
Yeah, where they for some reason forego doing a direct and just drop a number of announcements on Twitter. Like Bayonetta 3 release date, that was on Twitter. That's one that I'll always remember because people were waiting for that, thought it was going to be in the June direct, and then it wasn't. And then boom, here we are. We just drop it, in the middle of I think it was October or something. They dropped a tweet. Yeah. So I think I think a lot of this is fascinating because it dances around obviously the last topic. The kind of the big noose that's hanging around Nintendo's neck because they put it out there themselves. This isn't just about rumors. This isn't just about leaks or speculation or anything. Nintendo themselves said by the end of this fiscal year, which that is March, which is when Xenoblade comes out, they will have an announcement about the Nintendo Switch successor. Obviously, we don't know what that announcement is. Most people assume it's a reveal because why would Nintendo even say something like that if they're just going to announce a code name? It wouldn't even make any sense. You wouldn't even pre-announce that, right? You would pre-announce it because you're going to reveal it. And I don't think they're ever going to give us a public code name. I realize we now know, especially with the Terra leaks, like definitively it's Ounce. That's well known at this point. But it just furthers the proof that Nintendo doesn't need to drop that as an announcement. It's probably going to be a reveal. Now, obviously, a lot of people were hoping, hopium and copium, that it would be revealed this year. I think after all this stuff this week, this was kind of like the last stand for a lot of people. A lot of people are now Team 2025. I think that's obviously a perfectly reasonable thing to do. Nintendo has not given us any indication of when they're going to do this besides March. So
I feel like they're not going to tank their holiday sales by saying, "Hey, look at this new product. Maybe you don't want to buy our existing one."
Sure, that's a very common argument. I don't really want to go into the counters on that because in the end, it's whatever Nintendo thinks is best.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Exactly.
So, like as an example, there's no game in February. Maybe there's no game for a reason because they're talking Switch 2 in February.
Yeah,
that could literally be what they're doing that month.
Sorry, there's talk of Pilot Wings in the chat. I just played Pilot Wings Resort for the first time earlier this year, so that's really funny.
Yeah, Pilot Wings is good.
Have you played Pilot Wings 64?
Yes.
Yeah, love the game.
I never played the Super Nintendo one, but yeah, I love the jetpack in that and just hovering in place. It's just funny.
Super Nintendo 1 made really good use of the Mode 7 graphics. It was a launch title for Super Nintendo coming out in September 1991. And it was a technical marvel at its time. There's no doubt about that. So, yeah, great games. Would love to see it. Would love to see it happen. I feel like it's more likely than Wave Race. And Wave Race isn't very likely. So I don't know. I don't know, man.
I'm hearing the Patrick's voice in my head saying, "The stash knows all."
So time about the Switch 2. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I haven't left Team 2024 yet. I will be leaving it as of Tuesday next week. So I have a very short timetable left that I think there's even a possibility. A lot of that's investors meeting stuff. Some of that is just some of the reliable leakers out there, mostly like Brazil. He keeps, from what he's heard, and I'm pretty sure what he's hearing is from third parties, that like, hey, Nintendo told them things and they're supposed to be revealing games with a logo in it, and they can't. Obviously, you could replay kind of jump the gun on it, but I don't think they're the only ones that are just sitting around waiting for Nintendo to reveal this thing to put logos in their stuff. So there is some thought there where like third parties maybe were indicated to that Nintendo would be revealing it this year. And I just think there's not, to Chuck Conroy's point, hey, you don't want to hurt holiday sales. Well, the worst way to hurt it is to reveal it right when the holiday sales begin, which really, truly in the U.S. anyways, begins in like the second half, towards Thanksgiving time in November. So like you can't really reveal this thing in that second half, and you don't want to get even deeper into December because Japan's big holiday selling time is right at the end of December. So it's kind of like if you're going to reveal it, there's any chance to reveal it, it's this week or next week, and then that's pretty much it. And I don't think because they have an investors meeting that they're suddenly going to reveal it days after the investors meeting. Like, why wouldn't you just reveal it before the investors meeting if that was the case? Because that would be a big boon for you to, hype investors up on the future of your company. So look, obviously, people that wanted it to be this week, it's looking pretty slim. There is like one person out there that claims that they have a certain source at a Canada based Nintendo developer, which we already know what company that is because they only own one development studio in Canada. And he claims that, something's happened in the next couple of days. Like, I don't know if any of that's legit. Obviously, this person is kind of staking their entire future as a content creator on this. So all right, cool. Enjoy that reputation. Bump or destruction that's about to happen. But again, I'm not gonna shout out who they are exactly. For those in my chat who were paying attention before my stream started, you know who we're talking about. But what I will say is that if this is a Twitter direct, they've had a major announcement every day this week. Every day this week, there's been something announced. I know one of them was just an NSO day, announcing new games for NSO, but hey, there were big games announced for NSO. Yeah. So it's like, okay, if they keep that streak going, yeah, maybe you are ending your Twitter Direct week with a Switch 2 reveal. That would be a pretty sick way to end your Twitter Direct week, and that would be on Friday then. They would drop it on Friday. Here's the thing. Look, I'm hard pressed to say I actually have any faith that it's being revealed in 2024 yet. But I've been on this train for a long time, and I can't get off just yet. I can't get off just yet. I will officially on Tuesday. I will be Team 2025. In fact, I'm so off after Tuesday that I am Team 2025 March 31st. I'm going all the way to the end.
Wait, what?
So for like when I expect it to be revealed, the final day of March.
Okay.
Going all the way to the end. I'm not going to be like people being like, yeah, you say that, Prime. You'll hype up the very next week. Look, if there's legit rumors out there, maybe, but like, what are you going to know? The legit people don't actually. Even PH Brazil said he doesn't know when it's going to be revealed. He's just very confident it's this year. Okay, cool. But the further we get towards the holidays, the less and less likely I think it actually is that they'll do it. Not that it's going to hurt game sales. Backwards compatibility, I think, kind of takes care of any concerns with that. But it can affect hardware sales a little bit. The biggest counter argument out there is mostly just it's year 8. People that are debating on buying a Switch at this point aren't the kind of people that are buying Switch day one. I don't know. It's all out of me. All I know is there's a billion bundles, including another Mario Kart 8 Deluxe bundle.
Yeah, it's the best time to buy a Switch if you don't have one.
You know what I always look at, though, guys, and we've talked about this many times again on the podcast, is that the way Nintendo makes money is on their software.
Yeah.
When it comes to all console manufacturers, you make very little, if any, money on selling hardware, and a lot of times you're selling at a loss. Except if you're Nintendo, because they've been known to never sell at a loss, or they only did once. But the point is you make all your money on the software. So if you did hypothetically announce Switch 2 and it's backwards compatible, that could only help to sell more software right now. And again, when you look at some of these scenarios where it's like, hey, Switch came out in March 2017 and hey, say you were born in 2017, right? I mean, you're 7 years old now, 8 years old. You might be getting your first video game console.
Oh, yeah.
If you're a parent or grandparent and you want to buy a video game console for your kid or for your grandkid, obviously the Switch is a perfect option. And you know that, hey, these games you're buying for them, they're going to be playable on the Switch too if we want to get that for so-and-so down the road. If they latch on to video games, if they end up liking it. But let's get them the Switch 1 that is a fraction of the price of what Switch 2 is going to be. Let's see if he can be responsible. Let's see if he can not drop his Switch all the time and break the screen or lose it. You know what I'm saying? Like as a kid, those are all things that I think parents look at. And Nate, you could speak to that. Like as far as kids, do you think as a parent you'd be more likely to want to buy your kid a brand new Switch 2 or the Switch 1 and ease them into it?
I get him a Switch Lite, $200.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Listen. I on that note, I've already purchased my daughter her third Switch since it started. I got her first Switch Lite about 5 years ago, and she's already on her third Switch, either because of screen broke, the Joy-Con drift or whatever. She just wanted a new one, and she's on her third Switch right now. Or Switch Lite, not Switch. I'm not gonna spend 3 Switches. Switch Lite, because she prefers the Switch Lite to the Switch. And that's not the reason. Kids like the mobility and how small this thing is. And kids nowadays like to carry little purses and stuff, just stick it in there and just play in the car when they take it out. But yeah.
Perfect for that.
Yeah.
It makes total sense. So yeah, again, software sales, that's why I won't say that announcing it and the whole debate about it hurting Switch sales. It's like, man, they are already completely saturated. It's oversaturated. But if you can sell more software, that's where the money's at. You sell more hardware, it's not going to affect the bottom line as much as software will.
I agree. Man, I'm like hanging by a little pinky on Team 2024.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm Team 2025.
I get it.
I heard an argument that just
Team 2025, man.
that blew me away. I heard an argument. I'm pretty sure Nate heard it, and probably you guys heard it too. Kid and Krista were talking about the process Nintendo goes through in moments like this, right? When planning a reveal date, and they say they take a lot of things into account. Time of the year, what's happening, and they mentioned a lot of things, but one thing they mentioned, I said, yeah, they are 100% right. They mentioned, look, right now we are in the United States, their biggest market. We are in the election season, the president of the United States, and so they're not going to release a system or announce a system in the middle of an election because they want to make sure that there's room to breathe, and so that the media can continue to carry the announcement. If they launch today and something happens to one of the candidates tomorrow, that's it for the media covering the release. So
I've been saying that since the beginning, like since day one about the election stuff. And Japan just had their election on Sunday, and they had a hotly contested election. And I was actually explaining this a little bit to my lady, is that because I was showing her there's a lot of like protest, and again, I'm not going to get into politics, but there's protests going on in Japan in regards to the United States election. She's like, well, why? I'm like, babe, there's so much riding on the United States always, because so much of the decisions made here and the policies affect the rest of the world.
Yep.
Like this is the hub for the rest of the world. And so it's a lot of money is riding on it in a lot of different places. And again, like I've had a lot of people tell me that the election doesn't matter. Like Nintendo doesn't care about the elections. Like that's just an American thing. It's like not even close, dude. They totally care about it because it will dominate the news waves.
Oh yeah,
and sure. It is for all of us. I get like 10, 15, sometimes 20 texts a day. It seems like I report them all as junk. I don't care if it's left or right. Yeah. I get phone calls.
I hate the text.
It's like, I hate it, man. And it's like, dude,
the permission to
it's everywhere. You go on Twitter, it's everywhere. Wherever you go, you turn on the radio, you turn on the TV, it's everywhere. Nobody wants to hear it. Nobody wants to hear it. And it's like, if you announce it now, it's very hard to be talked about because of that. Nate.
The counterpoint is Switch was also revealed during election season. Like literally, it was revealed.
I remember.
Yeah, it was revealed like 2 weeks or something before election. So, and I know we're closer now than we were then, but it's kind of like that's where people get the opinion that like maybe Nintendo doesn't give a shit because that was also a hotly contested election. It wasn't like there was a guarantee of who was going to win. So I I kind of look at it like this. Nintendo cares more about what's best for business. You know, back when they did the 2016 announcement, they knew they were going silent till January. They weren't going to talk about Switch again until January, and they knew it. They were just going to let the media and the fans do all their own speculation, their own hype, and then we'll come back in January and talk about it.
Yeah, we saw like 2-second teasers of so many games.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like, look, if that's what Switch 2 is again, where they're just going to end up teasing a few things, let the fans run with it. We'll see you again in 2025. Absolutely, because this argument about how like, oh, they're worried about the elections, and why the hell are they announcing Nintendo Music right now? Why the hell are they announcing?
Nintendo Music isn't the entire stake of their company. Like,
well, no, it's not. It's not. But like Switch 2, okay, say it gets buried by the election. Okay, well, the election's over. As of, you know, the most that's going to matter in terms of mass media coverage is going to be till Wednesday. We'll know who the president is. There might be arguments one way or another.
Yep.
At that point, though, we're moving on. We know. Like, the NFL doesn't stop games because there's an election going on. The NBA doesn't stop their games because there's an election going on.
Actually, they do.
Well, yeah, on the day of the election. Yeah, on the day of the election.
Yeah, which is so
by the way, I'm not expecting an announcement on the day of the election. I know it sounds crazy when I say I'm holding out faith through Tuesday. That's only because the off chance that Furukawa drops another one of those May tweets. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what I'm like. If he says anything on that day, it'll be some Furukawa Nintendo IR tweet about a future time that they're going to announce the system. Like maybe they see everything and they're like, hey, we're not making the announcement now, but please look forward to January when we announce more news about the Nintendo Switch successor.
I'm sorry, but I think I need to get going.
Oh, no, you're good, man. You're good.
Thank you so much for having me. It meant a lot.
No, I do. It meant a lot to have you on too, man. Hopefully we'll do this again sometime.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you all later.
Have a good night.
All right. You too.
Take care, man.
I also want to add that Nintendo, prior to the Switch, they were in a much, much, much different position.
Yeah.
Sure.
Meaning, like, hey, whether they wanted to announce it at that time or not, they may have felt like they needed to. They may have said, hey, this isn't the best time. Like, this is not the most ideal time that we would like to announce it, but we really need to because of the Wii U's performance. You know what I mean? And they announced the NES Classic Edition.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Nintendo put out on store shelves to still have a presence. That was a big reason they said why they released that is because we need a holiday presence on the store shelves to remain relevant and for everyone to remember that this is who Nintendo is to bridge us to the Switch. So again, yeah, I think I get that they announced Switch 1 then, but I think the situation was a lot different now where you're coming off the type of success that you are and with how tough of a time they've had transitioning after being successful.
Yeah.
Right? Because we've seen it. It's never went well.
Yeah, I think they've already made clear that this is going to be the fiscal year where they will whatever they decide to do about the next generation system, and I think they're in a position where they could literally wait till January, first, second, third week of January, or even February announcement day. Then I don't know, soon after we get a presentation, and then like a May release for the system. They're in a good position right now, but in a much better position than they were back in 2016. And I think that what we're getting now is just an X Direct. We're getting some games that will kind of push us through and make us kind of, make the wait a little bit better, along the way. So I hope, let's see what happens tomorrow. Because, yesterday, Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Today, what did I say? Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Chronicles X. Today, we got the music part. And then tomorrow, let's see what happens. And then
Halloween! Give me something spooky. Like a Luigi's Mansion 1 remaster.
Right?
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, we should be getting that. I don't understand why we don't have that.
I don't know why they went to 2 and then...
You got to believe we're going to get it, though.
Yeah.
Why would you not have 1 through 3? Just like we're going to get Galaxy 2. Like, I think those are the games that will come out later after Switch 2 has come out.
Mhm.
Those games where Nintendo's like, yeah, we're still supporting Switch. Here's Luigi's Mansion. Here's Super Mario Galaxy 2. And again, these games will be new to a lot of people because the Wii was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Like Mario Galaxy 2 came out in what, 2000, was it 9? And Galaxy was 2007?
Mhm.
Completely off the top of my head.
Mhm.
But that was a long time ago. I mean, we're a couple months away from 2025.
Yeah. I agree.
Galaxy 2 would have been 16 years ago.
Dumb question. Do you think they, by any chance, they might be saving games like Luigi's Mansion 1 for NSO? If they were to bring GameCube, if they were to bring GameCube to NSO, they might want to have at least 5 good games to start off that next expansion to the expansion pack, you know. And so I would say if they were to want to sell, Luigi's Mansion will be an amazing game to kind of help sell that, you know, system on NSO if it ever makes it. I would say the next one is Smash Bros. Melee, because that game is not going to be made, right, with online playability. Another one will be Animal Crossing, the very original one. You know, Mario. The Mario from GameCube was Mario
Sunshine.
Yeah, Mario Sunshine. Because it's not it was under 3D anniversary, 35th anniversary on that triple pack, but it's not for sale now. You know, so what's the point of not having that game on eShop? Why are they not selling that game? Maybe they might want. Okay, we sold it temporarily as a 35th anniversary kind of thing.
Yeah.
But once it comes to you know, you guys, it'll come through NSO, through GameCube.
Well, I think where there's smoke, there's fire.
Mhm.
And there's something going on with that damn GameCube controller. There's
Oh, yeah.
something going on, guys. And so you bring up a really good point, Mike. You really do, because they could be saving Luigi's Mansion for that, and that would be a great reason for people to get the NSO expansion pack, because there are a lot of people who would probably be like, yeah, I'd really like to play part 1.
Yeah.
But I don't want to go buy a GameCube, and I don't even have a TV that has RCA cables.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to plug it into a converter and then introduce input lag. If you're, just trying to get an entry-level converter on Amazon, you're guaranteed to have input lag and real crappy picture quality. Guaranteed. So,
Right.
Yeah, it makes sense. I think that's a great point.
Mario Kart Double Dash, Luigi's Mansion, Smash Bros. Melee, Super Mario Sunshine, and then the 5th one. I can't think of the 5th one. But that will be like a little all-star to start off the GameCube era on NSO.
Yeah. I don't know. Here's the way I'm just gonna round this topic out here. Here's my thing. Nobody should be on Team 2024 anymore. Literally nobody should. Lots of good arguments here. We talk the elections. We could talk all the Kid and Chris stuff brought up a whole bunch of other reasons.
Yeah.
Look, it makes no sense anymore. It made sense in September. It makes even less sense right now. Totally get it. Announcing it on Halloween, crazy. Be insane to announce on Halloween.
That'd be awesome, though.
I'd love it. It'd be a nice little treat, but it'd be insane.
Right.
It'd be insane if, it's the investors meeting. It's also the day of the election. And then they do an announcement through a tweet anyways.
Yeah.
It would be insane. But here's what I'm going to put out there. And this is where we keep the 2024 Hopium alive through Tuesday.
Let's do it. Come on.
Everything we talk about how Nintendo cared about this and Nintendo cared about that. And Nintendo's all about... Dude, this is Furukawa's Nintendo now. We don't know what the fuck he cares about.
We
Except
don't.
that he doesn't want to fall off a cliff.
Yep.
And look, they could wait forever. They can reveal this thing next summer for all that matters. They're going to do it by March because he promised that. But
Come on, Kevin. 2026.
I'm just going to say that that's where the Hopium is. The Hopium rests not in PH Brazil and him really thinking it's going to get revealed this year, which I'm curious if we get past this week, if he really thinks it's still going to get revealed. We'll see. We'll see if he's starting to change his opinions on that. There's a certain person in the chat that definitely thinks it's being revealed in the next couple of days. There's other of you guys out there that are holding on to every piece of hope, and Pioro's out there tweeting away, and everyone's trying to act like he's talking about Switch 2, and it turns out no, he was just doing a Family Boards thing that he's done, by the way, 2 other times in the past, where he's taken the Switch 2 thread off of Family Boards and threw it in a tweet that everyone went nuts, and then he started complaining. By the way, I want to throw this out. There's a little caveat. I already put it out in a tweet. For all you insiders out there and you leakers, when you get mad that people take everything you say and act like it means something, like was just happening with Pioro's tweets, which I knew the moment it was the Family Boards thread name. It was not that, because he'd done that 2 other times and it meant nothing. Don't get mad at people for taking your stuff and assuming that you're leaking things when 95% of what you put out there is a leak.
Mm-hmm.
Take a little personal responsibility. If you don't like people taking everything you say and treating it like a leak, maybe don't make it so everything you say is usually a leak. Like Pioro, my advice to you, buddy. You want people to stop treating everything like it's a leak? Start tweeting more about random bullshit.
Yep.
If you deleted your tweets just now. You deleted all of the tweets that you did. You're going to come back in like 2 months. You're going to put out 3 more tweets. Those tweets are all going to be leaks. And then you're going to bitch again about why people's taking everything as leaks for the one time that you put out a tweet that's not a leak. What I'm saying is, for all you inside, I don't care if you're Brazil, and I think Brazil's actually starting to get it a little bit. He's starting to clarify a lot more, like what's just his opinion versus what's. So that, like, hey, some people are learning. Nate the Hate gets really, really mad about this as well. Take some personal responsibility. When you are an insider and you are a leaker and you are telling people, I have heard this or I know this, or when you say, well, I have informed speculation. You know what informed speculation is? You don't know exactly 100%, but you know something. Of course, people are going to talk about that. If you don't want people to talk about it, just say, in my opinion, and don't say you have any information on it. Don't say it's informed speculation, and then no one's going to talk about it. Take personal responsibility when you are someone with sources to not go out into the world, go out into the ether and put stuff out there to bitch that people are covering it, because you sure as fuck want them covering it when you're saying something.
Yeah.
You love when people cover it when you're saying something, and you might go, really? Really? Why do you think Pioro was putting that stuff out there? You think he doesn't like that he's got 100,000 followers on X? Why do you think he couldn't delete his account after his source got busted? He just had to private it because he doesn't need it to get any bigger now because he has 100,000 people paying attention to him.
Nate?
So, and by the way, personal responsibility comes to me too. Yeah. I'm not going to keep putting out speculation videos after the second about a reveal happening this year, because guess what? I can't even wrap my mind out past Tuesday any justification to reveal it this year. There's one event, the Game Awards, that I think Nintendo will never reveal a system at. But there's that one argument. It's the biggest single gaming audience in the world watching worldwide. It is actually a really great place to reveal stuff. That's why so many video games get revealed there.
Yeah,
but I think Nintendo personally likes controlling the narrative a lot. I think revealing around election season is kind of irrelevant for Nintendo, because not everyone wants to talk about politics. In fact, people sometimes want a break from talking about politics. Giving them a really massive announcement would be a great way to give people a break from talking about who's going to win what elections, getting mad at each other all the time. Because let's just be honest, you pay attention to politics online, it's just people yelling at each other. And by the way, it's not just like the people voting, it's like the actual candidates are yelling. Like they're promoting this by getting angry and yelling at each other. So I just sit back and go through Tuesday, investors meeting. It's not revealed by the investors meeting. There's not like a tweet from Furukawa after the investors meeting like he did back in May. I'm off Team 2024. You're not going to see me talk about jack shit about a reveal unless on the off chance that someone like Tom Henderson, who's one of the most reliable insiders ever and runs Insider Gaming, if he puts out a report, he's got, by the way, now 78 out of his 78 last reports are correct with leaks. If he puts out a report and says Switch 2 is being revealed on X day, yeah, okay. He's got, his reputation is like unfathomable. But I don't think he's going to do that. he's not the kind of person that I think is going to do that, even if he did know.
Yeah.
Even though it'd be the scoop of the century. He's got lots of scoops of the century. He doesn't need it.
Yep.
I think he'd let it be. He might do a bunch of scoops after it's revealed about certain games coming to the platform, but so that's kind of the way where I am, guys. So if you guys like, that's me taking personal responsibility, being like, hey, once we get past Tuesday, I can't wrap my mind around being possible. So I can't wrap my mind around a 4chan post knowing something. Can't wrap my mind around someone random on Twitter knowing something. Now, by the way, that doesn't mean there won't be any more Switch 2 rumor videos. The videos will probably just be around games.
Let's do.
Games, like when we did the PH Brazil coverage when he was talking about the third-party games the other day. It'll be about stuff like that. Or shipping data. That's fact-based stuff. There's going to be an update for that coming here in the next 2 weeks. So we're going to have new shipping numbers and new data coming from manufacturing. So like in August, we knew it was like 60,000 of like a certain component getting made. Maybe we find out it's 200,000 in September. That would be a very good thing because that means mass manufacturing has begun. So we can still talk about stuff like that. But yeah, a lot of the Switch 2 conversations, yeah, unfortunately for my channel, we'll have to slow the fuck down. That being said, I'm still not buying Nintendo Alarmo. Still not buying that.
I'm so upset
Give me
about
the
that.
music app. That's all I need.
Hey,
I just needed the music app. I didn't need the alarm.
answer this question. What worth is it to unbox something that arrives 2 weeks later than everybody else's unboxing? Nothing, right? Because everybody already has it. So I have mine still in the box over there with the thing. I'm thinking putting us in the back.
We do a live stream giveaway. There you go.
Yeah,
That's
probably. But Nate, you inspired me, Nate. I'm gonna do a random tweet of a cat.
cool.
This random tweet of a
I
cat.
don't like cat.
I don't know. With no caption.
The last cat I was around, I got scratches on my arm from.
Tweet of a cat.
That's it. I gotta put the shield up.
Hey, that's pretty cool. It looks like the L from is it an L or is it just like an X?
I don't know.
Is that your actual Halloween costume for this year?
Yes. I'm retired Hercules. I wasn't kidding.
You broke the sword, dude. You broke the shield.
No. There are certain ancient shield designs that had daggers in them, but
I see.
But anyways, that doesn't really matter. Those shields, by the way, were not great because once like they actually had to use and got banged, you couldn't stick your sword back in. That's neither here nor there. Look, guys, I don't really have anything else to add to this. I don't think it really needs to add anymore. Like Team 2040 shouldn't be on it. If you're on it, you're like me. You're just hopium copium, praying that hey, we got 5 days. Maybe Nintendo drops it on a Sunday. Middle of Sunday night football, they decide, you know what? It's Sunday night Nintendo time.
But listen, Linda. Listen.
Linda. Oh,
That's-
Karen.
isn't
Over
it-
there.
Isn't that the meme? Linda.
Yeah, that's the meme. So is the Karen one.
So
Didn't the Karen one kind of begin with the rooftop Karen of the Switch reveal?
I don't know how that even started.
Everyone thinks that she's Karen. That's all I know.
Anyway, my wife listens like it because her best friend's name is Karen. She's like, no, don't talk like, don't say that. But the good thing is something is happening. The waters are kind of, they're not still. They're being moved a lot. Yesterday was a good day. Today's a good day. Tomorrow is a surprise. I guarantee tomorrow will be a better day. If tomorrow's not a better day, next time I'm on the podcast, I'll wear my Donkey Kong thingy.
You know, 2025, it's a big year for Nintendo for the North American market.
Yeah.
Because of the 40th anniversary of Nintendo literally revitalizing the video game market. They brought it back to life in 1985, the year I was born. This is a big deal next year. And, obviously the anniversary of the Famicom was this year. But we all have to understand that North America is the biggest market for video games. It's the biggest market for Nintendo. And the difference is not even close. It's a massive gap as far as popularity goes. And, the NES is just extremely iconic. And, 2025 having like the Switch 2 announced hypothetically, if we go into 2025, but having it announced in 2025 and being released on the 40th anniversary, it makes a lot of sense too.
Mhm.
Either way, it's going to happen when it happens. Point is, like, guys, there's so many games to play.
There is.
There's tons. We got Mario and Luigi coming out shortly here. Everyone should play Dragon Quest 3 HD no matter what console you play it on.
Yeah.
I love Dragon Quest. There's just a ton of stuff. And again, I've said this 1,000 times. We all have backlogs. We all have them. They vary in size, but we all have them. This is a great time. Truthfully, if we're trying to be efficient here, this is a great time to hit up your backlog before the Switch 2 comes out. Because once Switch 2 comes out, you're going to be all over those launch titles. And the longer we wait, the longer it takes for Switch 2 to come out, the stronger the launch titles will be. And the more we'll get. Because it's just more time for them to make this the biggest launch ever.
Yeah.
So that's something to look forward to.
My backlog goes as back as Monster Hunter Rise. That's when I bought the game and then I played it for a couple of minutes and then I played it again.
By the way, I meant to mention I played Monster Hunter Wilds.
Wilds? Good.
Yeah, I played the beta.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
How's it?
Nice.
It's good. I enjoyed it. It runs at 30 frames. And for me, games can run at 30 or 60. It doesn't matter. Like, do I prefer 60? Yes. Okay. Who doesn't? But a game running at 30 doesn't make it bad at all. Look at, the Zelda games running at 30.
Mhm.
Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. Fantastic. I'm playing Silent Hill 2 Remake in 4K, 30 frames, because for me, playing at a higher frame rate, because it's not 60 if in performance mode, but playing at a higher frame rate in lower resolution, in this scenario, it actually doesn't make sense. It's better to play at 4K 30. What I did find with Wilds is I found myself thinking this would be better at 60 with the combat, with the speed of the combat. Silent Hill, the combat is much more strategic and methodical, and Wilds is faster combat. And so I did find myself thinking, damn, and even with PS5 Pro, I don't think it's going to be 60 frames. Just like Dragon's Dogma 2. That's a game that runs 30 frames. It's by Capcom. I think it's the same engine. And they've already been on record saying the Pro will run it at an improved frame rate. That's the verbiage, improved. So not 60 is what they're saying without saying it. So yeah, I would say it would be nicer, but it is what it is. Just by looking at it though, I will say that I could definitely see it running on Switch too. Not even knowing, if we're just going off the rumored specs. And what the reason I say that is because it's not like a visual spectacle. It doesn't look bad. It's just not like, whoa, like this is next gen. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like blown away by it.
Yeah.
So I did think when I was playing it, I'm like, I could see this running on Switch too, if the rumored specs are accurate.
Mhm.
No problem.
You know what needs to happen in gaming? They need to take. I really, I'm a tech geek, but I'm not that much of a geek. But they need to master variable refresh rates for games. Like, have games that really they go up and down in the refresh rate based on what's happening in because some scenes don't need that they could run at 30 frames per second. When you go into something with high speeds or a really big battle, then okay, go up to 60 and kind of variable depending on what you're doing within the video game, and that way they can kind of give you a better experience. Because I know this phone has it, I know Nate has also the 16 Pro Max, right?
Yep.
And so right now smartphones are catching up. Ray tracing, all that stuff is in there, and they mastered that variable FPS, so that when you're just on the screen, it's not, if you're playing a game, it'll go up to 60, it'll come back down, whatever, depending on what you're doing. So in gaming, if they would do that, then I think it would actually go a long way with video games. Because if you're fighting a battle in Xenoblade Chronicles X, or you're playing a game like Monster Hunter Wilds, in a battle, you'll feel it,
Yeah, I agree. And VRR, you have to have certain TVs for. Like my TV has the capability for VRR, but a lot of TVs don't, which is unfortunate that it's not compatible. And I look at something like the Analog 3D. I pre-ordered that as soon as it went up. I'm very excited to play the Analog 3D. I love analog products. Interestingly enough, Analog 3D is going to have VRR built in, which is wild. So I'd be interested to see how that works with 64, and if they're able to overclock 64 games, which I've been reading up on, and it sounds like the Analog 3D may be able to run 64 games at a higher frame rate.
That's awesome. That's crazy.
Yeah, pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
So it should be interesting.
Yeah, I think mine is. I think the one that I use as a monitor is compatible. I got it last year. It's an OLED, LG OLED. Let's see here, but not that one. That one's a ULED.
All right. Let's get to the Q&A section. We have a few questions. Guys, remember, if you have any questions you want to submit, you just super chat them in for as little as $2 to get featured in this section of the show. And we have our first one coming from Christian's second account. Classic. A very underrated puzzle game you guys need to play is Captain Toad Treasure Tracker on Switch. It even has some Mario Odyssey levels. Please try it. Well, for starters, I'm already ahead of you because I played 100% of that game on Wii U.
Yeah, I was going to say, I have my Wii U copy over there, and I have it on Switch. Love the game.
I did play the Switch version to play the extra courses they added in. But yeah, very good game. I agree. It's very underrated. I hope that becomes like a series they release once per gen. Or get a new one on Switch too. That would be nice. I'd like to see Toad getting that kind of love.
Yeah, I've only played the little levels they give you at Mario 3D World.
we don't get enough puzzle games these days, so it would be nice to see Captain Toad continue on. I'd love to see him bring back Pushmo. I really enjoyed the Pushmo series. That was fun.
Pushmo, that'd be good. That'd be good. Let's see here. Let's go to our next one here. From Purified Storm, perfect username for the Halloween theme here. Nintendo Twitter Direct this week so far. Nintendo GameCube NSO Thursday. Nintendo Switch 2 reveal Friday, November 1st. By the way, that would make this my favorite week ever. Right. There would be a lot of banger announcements all the way to the end. That's the thing. Like, because they've had a major thing like announced every day, I can't rule out them announcing something tomorrow and on Friday. I just don't think it's probably going to be Switch 2, but GameCube NSO, I feel like NSO wise, probably not, because we got the music app and that's NSO. I know it's not NSO on your Switch, but it is NSO. But like there could be something.
Zelda. It's going to be Zelda tomorrow.
Yeah, they could announce another remaster. Dude, what if Friday's a shadow drop for Prime 2?
Yeah.
You never know. I mean, that's a valid point, is that we have had a huge announcement every day. And again, we've had a decent amount of announcements, period, right? Like with Alarmo as well, with the museum, with the back-to-back directs. It just seems like they're getting everything out of the way and clearing that path, which is why I was asking you, Mike, if you think there's anything else out of left field that we might get, because if there is, then okay, then we have some more stuff. But if not, then maybe the path has finally been cleared.
Yeah.
Only time will tell.
Zelda's coming tomorrow.
Oh, dude.
Wind Waker.
That'd be hype.
Hey,
by the way,
Twilight Princess would make sense, wouldn't it?
Huh?
For Halloween? For Halloween with Wolf Link?
You think they might...
Oh, yeah, with Wolf Link.
Yeah.
Dude, I do think that man, I don't know. I do want to know. By the way, I saw a few comments on this earlier in my chat. No, guys, I did not make videos the last 2 days because it wasn't Switch 2 stuff. Those are major announcements. Xenoblade and Nintendo Music, I would have totally made videos on there. You know what I was actually doing the last 2 days? I was on the phone for 12 hours, split over the 2 days, 6 hours each day, trying to get a car loan approved. So,
Yeah.
like, legitimately, it kind of sucked that we had these major news while I'm on a time. Like, put it this way: if I didn't get it approved by 3:15 today, my family wasn't going to have a car.
You get it?
Yes, I got it.
Awesome.
I got it. So
Excellent.
yeah, so it was just a very stressful couple of days. So kind of sucks because now it's like too late for a news channel to cover it. But if there's another big announcement tomorrow, then I could throw it all together in one video. So like Nintendo, give me something. Give me something tomorrow. Kind of falls in line with that question we just had up here. The next person here we had Tall Show saying, with Nintendo releasing a music app, I hope they won't go on a DMCA spree with content creators. LOL. Just on that front, they've already done that before they had an app. They're probably going to do it after they have the app as well. I don't think that's
Even more, especially those channels that have nothing but music without commentary.
Yeah, that's not going to be allowed anymore. They allow the commentary. They actually have that on their website. They allow commentary. But then it says, what game do you all want added to the music app?
I got 3 off the top of my head. I want to see Link to the Past. Love that soundtrack. I want to see Pilot Wing 64. And I want to see Wave Race.
Wave Race.
I love that soundtrack on Wave Race. I played, by the way, I played Wave Race Blue Storm. I had it connected with my RetroTink 5X using the HD Retrovision upscale cables. So basically, I'm getting the best picture I can out of my Wii, and I was playing it on the projector. And it was really cool. But I will say the one thing about Blue Storm versus the original Wave Race that is just so obvious when you turn it on again. It's missing that soundtrack, man.
Yeah,
that great Wave Race 64 soundtrack. It's completely gone for just generic music. Unfortunate.
They also need the complete soundtrack for Splatoon 3. That's a recent game. Is that on there?
Well, there's a lot of recent ones not on there.
Yeah.
Like they only have 27 games, and I feel like this is the app. Like unlike NSO, where we get like an update, I don't know, every month or every few weeks. I kind of feel like there's going to be more consistent updates to this.
Yeah.
Maybe even weekly updates because they just have so many, and this isn't even counting if they could somehow get permission for third-party stuff.
Yeah.
Like what if Nintendo can get the Banjo-Kazooie one up there? That'd be sick. So I kind of feel like because those companies, they still put their music out on Spotify, so they're still making money off that stuff. So if Nintendo will offer you a little bit, come on over. Sure, I don't think Nintendo's going to do that yet for a while because they have so many of their own stuff to do.
Yeah.
But like I think about ones, like I'd like to see some old school classics come back that we'll never see new games for, like Star Tropics. I'd like to see that album come out. I really enjoyed the music in that game, and although it's not something I'm going to listen to frequently, still nice to revisit a little bit of that nostalgia there. Just glancing at the app. I mean, obviously for me, I'm a big Zelda guy. I want
especially when they do those orchestra Zelda performances. If they could have that,
I would like to see that.
Yeah,
I want to see the live orchestra. I want to see it for like Mario Galaxy. Obviously, it had orchestrated tracks in the game, but didn't they have a live orchestra for it?
Yeah.
But to me, it's crazy we don't have a Wind Waker around here right now. Like, what are we doing?
I love the
soundtrack. Zelda.
The Great Sea soundtrack. That song right there, man. Put that on extended play. Yeah, one of my favorites.
There's literally nothing on here from Luigi's Mansion. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? You're launching this app around Halloween time, and you don't have any Luigi's Mansion music.
Yeah, that's an opportunity they could have taken advantage of for sure.
Mario Wonder is your most recent Mario game. Nothing from there.
Makes you wonder.
Yeah, they're going to be adding more. I mean, they barely have any. I mean, the Switch is the one they have the most for. They only have 8 albums, so there's like so many banger Switch albums that aren't on here. They pretty much have nothing but Wii. The only notable thing, obviously, Galaxy is really big to have, but if you like all the, remember how you guys always want menu music and shop music, and well, they got that. They added all that on. they got the Wii channels. What on here? Not even a game. They got that on here though, because people love the nostalgia there. I mean, for some reason, we have the Tamagotchi collection and Nintendogs from DS, but nothing else. Literally none of the other gaming albums. Those are the 2 you chose.
It's interesting what they chose for sure, but I'm sure they have some method to their madness.
I think they wanted enough variety to fill out the categories they've made for their little radios. Like the power up, they wanted enough like upbeat, tracks for working out. They wanted enough for, let's see here, enough Mario music to have a Mario music list, enough Zelda music to have a Zelda music list. They have a whole bunch of the featured playlist here. Like they wanted enough music to have title themes. They probably wanted enough for, let's see here. They wanted enough to have instrumentals. They wanted enough boss battle ones. So they got all these different categories, and I think they just wanted a variety that would help them fill out each category. And then they can maybe expand from there. But there's so many.
I know what the next step for this is. Ringtones.
That's what, dude. They need to let ringtones be in this app.
Yeah.
Officially put ringtones on there, even if they charge.
Yeah.
99 cents. I don't even care.
Yeah, NSO. As long as you have NSO and you have the app installed, you can kind of use the ringtones. Allow access, permission.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah. Jump Up Superstar is their joystick. I was already jamming out to it earlier.
Yeah.
Still can't play it on a live stream even with this background music though, because it's not just Nintendo that has that copyright. There's a production company that does, and that company claims it every time. Not that it matters because I put copyrighted music in every stream. I just can't put it in this one. Let's see here. We have Taker 6 cents in. Do they call it Xenoblade in England? I have no idea.
Oh, yes, they do. Yeah. They do.
They must, right?
Yes. Harry was calling it that.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Xenoblade. Yeah.
I was going to say, they probably do. They probably don't call it Xeno because that's not how they pronounce it.
Yeah. They do.
That's good. I was gonna be like, I'm not from there. I have no idea. We rarely have anyone from across the pond on the show because we're at a bad time for them. Taker 6 cents says, I think Nintendo reveals Switch 2 in the first half of January, launches in May. It gives you 5 full months of production to meet launch demand. Well, reveal to launch is different than production. There's highly likelihood it'll be in mass production before it's even revealed. Switch was revealed in October. Mass production for it began in September of 2016. And in August of that year, they had similar production numbers to what we have this year. So it kind of would suggest we'll be in mass production, if not in September, for sure this month. So it'll be in mass production before the year is out. But the whole point of that 5 months isn't mass production. That would be marketing time. How much time do they think they need to market it to sell it? And not just sell it at launch. They don't, because they're going to sell it at launch anyways. The Wii U sold out at launch. Nintendo's not worried about launch day sales. They know it'll sell out. They want it to be like Switch, where people are buying the launch game before they can even buy the Switch because it's sold out. Meaning the demand for Switch is so damn high, people are still buying the launch game anyways. Because that's what happened with Breath of the Wild. There were more copies of Breath of the Wild sold on launch day than systems existed. That meant Nintendo had a hit. They had a large demand for Switch that wasn't being met on day one. That wasn't true with Wii U. They want that to happen again. No matter what that game is, they want that game to be so impressive that it's impossible to have enough Switches for the number of people that want to play that game. And that's how you create that demand. And then you have, just when you're finally catching up on that, there's Mario Kart. Just when you're catching up on that, there's a new Fire Emblem. There's a new this. There's a new that. There's Animal Crossing. That's what got Switch going. As soon as they caught up to demand on a certain game for the platform, another big one dropped. And so Nintendo, if you talk about a 5-month window, it's not because they need it to make Switches. It's because they need it to hype people up on the full opening lineup for Switch to create that consistent demand. I don't think they need 5 months to do it, to be fair. I think they could do it in 3.
Mhm.
Like, I think they could even like announce January, release April. But again, I'm still on Team 2024. Well, I'll start talking about 2025 next week, I'm sure. Regrettably, with my head down and tail between my legs. And I'm going to tell you it's March 31st, like I've been saying now. I'm already calling my 2025 shot. If it's not revealed by Tuesday, it's March 31st. You heard it here. When I'm right, and I'm actually going to be kind of sad because that's the last day of the fiscal year. That would make me so sad. We have to wait till the last day. Oh, for a Captain's Promise. It's March 31st. Damn it.
At least we know. At least we know we can live stream that day, and it's supposed to happen.
Yeah, we would know ahead of time, right? Guys,
Yeah.
we didn't announce anything on March 30th. Dude, come on. It's March 31st, obviously. Man. Oh, man. Can you imagine if we got to March 30th and it's like this time and there's still no announcement and we're like, oh my fucking God. Well, we know it's tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean,
without any pre-announcement, we just know it's tomorrow. That would be insane. That might be like a 24-hour stream. I might just be in for the long haul on that one.
What if it doesn't happen?
Yeah, well, yeah. What if it doesn't happen? What if there's a delay, but he never says it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he can, though. He put out that tweet on the IR. That's the Nintendo like main official, like big announcement to investors account.
Yeah.
There's no way that like he can't do it without announcing a delay.
At this point, whatever next event they have, if they don't say, we will not be released. We will not be showing the Switch successor.
What if that's the announcement on Tuesday? There's our Switch 2 announcement. Yeah. Here's our announcement on Switch 2. Look, guys, the Nintendo Switch successor is called Ounce, and we will be revealing it in the first half of 2025. And it's like, God damn it, it's outside the fiscal year. Shit. That's a delay without saying a delay, god damn it. And you fulfilled the announcement thing by giving the code name. God.
Exactly. He didn't say what kind of announcement he was going to talk about. He's like, oh.
So then he didn't lie, but also it's because we're delaying it. All right. We had this last one in, unless I missed one. I'll have to double check. From Boo Many. Did $5 said, could we expect to see or get Zelda games like Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks, A Link to the Past, Minish Cap, A Link Between Worlds, etc. on Switch 2?
Yes.
As remasters, I don't know. I would like it. Like on NSO, sure. Some of that stuff I think is just obvious. And one, I think we have A Link to the Past already. I think we might have Minish Cap. I have to double check.
We do. We have A Link to the Past. We have Minish Cap.
I don't think we have Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks because we don't have.
No,
we don't have.
We don't.
But I think Switch 2 will be maybe the first platform that by the end of its generation you'll be able to play every single officially released Zelda game on it, whether it's through backwards compatibility, NSO, or re-releases or remasters.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be able to play everything. Now there again, you actually picked a nice handful of games that literally aren't. Some of them aren't there, so it would be good to get them there. Again, could be added through NSO, or what I hope is remasters. We're gonna look. They clearly like releasing Zelda remasters. And they keep doing it, so I suspect we're gonna get 3 or 4 during the Switch generation, maybe 5.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to maximize Zelda output with that movie because it'll just help continue to sell Zelda.
For sure.
And we'll get during the Switch 2 era, we'll get the Legend of Zelda expansion at Universal during that era.
What?
No doubt. You have to.
Zelda will finally get the recognition it deserves.
Yeah, it's going to be big for Switch 2. I think you guys are right. We're going to get new entries. We're going to get a lot of remakes. And the movie's really going to help to drive sales.
And by the way, guys, breaking news. I just realized why Nintendo Talk skipped the podcast today. Let me share this quick. That's his profile pic he updated during the show.
Is he Bulma? Is he Bulma
I'm just gonna.
from Scooby Doo?
It's just there. That's
Bulma.
that's why he skipped the show. I just want everyone to know. So when he's back next week, you can ask him questions. I'm gonna download this photo, by the way, because I'm sure he's gonna delete it.
I mean, all he had to do was add the hair because he's Bulma.
Just, anyways, just had to let everyone know what the fellow co-host of the show is skipping out to do. Anyways, I have to let him know that his Halloween costume did make it into the show despite him not being here. Yeah, so I think all those Zelda games are going to be here. Let me just double check the chat, make sure I didn't miss any while I was looking at the other window. I don't think I missed any super chats. I think there was me that did some fight get to members, but we don't have to go over that. That was me. So I think that is everything. All right. So let's go around the room, let people know what we got going on, what we got coming up, where they can find you, and then we'll wrap things up. So Shy Guy.
Shy
Thanks,
Guy.
man.
With
Good
words.
story. Super Mario Odyssey.
He has such a way with words.
Yep.
Well, you can find me here. Not here. You can find me at the Odyssey, at the Mike Odyssey channel, Monday through Friday. Fridays live at the Nintenbyte Podcast with our co-host. One of them is Joyce J. She's in the chat right now, and a whole bunch of other really cool people. Friday nights live. What else? Indie Mania channel. There you can find trailers and I have an interview coming up with Way Forward Games, which I recorded last week. It's coming up the first week of September. I also have a new show coming up soon. Yeah.
By the way, to update everyone on Eric, he is feeling a lot better. He took, well, in his words, a shitload of Tums, had a lot of really big belches, and now he feels amazing.
Oh, by the way, yeah, I'm giving this away.
So it definitely was like gas or something going on.
Like it's like a heartburn, maybe. Like
Yeah, I don't know. Lots of big belches, and all of a sudden he's better. Hey, whatever works.
So I'm giving this away. I realized that I'm not a good collector because I always feel bad by having this here and knowing somebody out there might not have one playing Nintendo Switch. So I'm like, I can never collect anything. Everything in the back I've collected. Yeah, I'm giving this away. And so yeah, subscribe for this and for the content and stuff. Twitter, Mike Odyssey YT. Instagram, Mike Odyssey YT. I don't really give too much love to Facebook, but yeah, I'm also there, Mike Odyssey YT. And yeah, got some good content going on and stuff. Thank you so much for your time.
All right.
And
Mike Odyssey is scheduled to come on. Well, never again, it looks like. He's not on the schedule. It's okay. There's like no one on the schedule. We have Rogers Base and Paul Gale Network, and that's it. I have no one else on the schedule for November right now. I'm slacking. Damn it, Carvana. What are you doing to me? Thunderstash Gaming, aka Wild Gunman, aka the hottest channel on YouTube, fastest growing content creator in the world at the moment.
Yep.
Thunderstash.
Yeah. So what do we got going? Let's see. I think I'm gonna wrap up Silent Hill tonight or tomorrow, probably before noon. I am playing through the prison section of the game, and my God, guys, it is so scary. I'm not even kidding. The way this game, the way it can scare you is just, it's special. I gotta say, it's really impressive. And I'm not into horror. I'm really not, but I'm just so impressed. But what I'm working on, so wrapping up that, and then Retro Realms, I'm going to be playing that. And then Sonic, Metaphor, ReFantazio, Alan Wake, Ease. There's so many games, man. There's so many games. Look at this. Hold on. Let me show you.
I thought he was just going to drag a whole shelf over for a second.
Right.
Oh, he's got his planner out. Here we go.
You see all these games on the left, this
Yeah,
side?
Yeah.
Those are all games I got, scheduled for review. There's so many games. This is why I'm really excited for Switch 2. I love new console launches. I love it. But there's so much to play. And again, the more time that goes by, the better that launch is going to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is great because, hey, if for some reason it takes a little bit longer to get Switch 2, which I don't think it will. I still think we're going to hear something soon. But hypothetically, man, that launch is going to be nuts. They've had a long time to work on this, especially if, and like I said, I've always said I believe this, that it was internally delayed.
Yeah.
Then how long are third parties going to have to prepare games? I feel like it's going to be
For
like,
launch. Yeah.
they're going to have a lot of games at launch. This is going to be really fun. So yeah, just a lot of reviews coming. Yes, I'm going to be plugged in all the time.
That's very nice. I have to.
I'm very jealous of people that can do the reviews like you do, man.
Yo,
I've had
thanks, man.
I've had a lot of people ask me to be a review channel, and I'm like, look, I've done reviews. I know how hard it is.
Yeah.
And then here you are. Sometimes you have like 3 or 4 scheduled out ahead of time. I'm like, dude, I know how hard that is, man. I really appreciate that content a lot. And you
thanks,
review
man.
such a wide variety, and I like that. I'll tell you right now, one of my favorite things about your channel, and I know some stuff like how you don't really pay attention, but you don't view chase, which means I'm going to get such a crazy variety of reviews.
Yeah.
And that's, like, I never, like, literally, I don't know. He can give off that list of games like, oh, I have all these things. I don't know what games come and when, and then there might be some random retro thing dropped in that I don't know what the hell fuck's going on. So like,
Yeah, I mean that is true. Yeah, I'm playing video games and I'm reviewing them. I'm playing the games that I want to play, that I'm interested in, and I do like all the games, man. I like them all. So yeah, there will be a wide variety. But thank you, I appreciate it. It means a lot. And yeah, it is a lot of work, but we get to play video games.
yeah,
We get to cover video games, all 3 of us.
Work, but it's a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree.
Yeah. As for me, I'm a news channel, so like technically I should have had 2 of my biggest stories of the year the last 2 days. Thanks, Carvana. You can take forever, you bastard.
They deliver the car?
Yeah, they delivered the car. Yeah, they delivered on Saturday.
That's so cool.
Yeah, they bring it right to my house, and then we have a 7-day trial where we decide if we want to keep it or not, if we want to exchange for something else of equal value.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're pretty sure we're going to end up keeping it, but yeah, it's one of those that you can look at all the pictures, look at everything, but then we might get it and it drives like shit, and we're like, no, we want something else. Especially for the money. That being said, yeah, I have no idea what's coming up. Besides, I have my live streams I do every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Those are usually Q&A streams. I'll definitely have that going on tomorrow night. You want to check that out. It's a Halloween night. I'll be back in costume. Will it be this costume? Will it be a different costume? Will it be a combination costume? Will it be the panda that everyone wants me to dress up as again? But the problem is it makes me 150 degrees. I don't know. It's going to be something. It's going to be fun. And who knows? Maybe you might see a slight Yulia appearance in a costume tomorrow if she decides she wants to come on. Because we're also going out for a Halloween party on Saturday. So right now, there is no bonus stream on Saturday. I can tell you guys that. We already have plans. And then besides that, look, news. Obviously, we talk a lot of Switch 2 as well. I'm sure there'll be something Switch 2 between now and the weekend that I'll talk about, even if it's me, putting up the grave headstone of RIP Team 2024. Might be a video that drops over the weekend. We'll see if I can even make it to Tuesday. See if I can even make it, because I'm not actually going to feel bad if I put up a video on Sunday saying RIP Team 2024 and then it's revealed on Monday. I'll just be like, well, you see, reverse psychology wins. Because I think Nintendo Land put up a video that was basically that same thing today. He's already given up. But yeah, I don't know what I have coming, guys, because I'm not doing reviews. It's news. Like I look at my idea board, I have absolutely nothing on there at the moment. So like for those who don't know how my channel works, I cover news, but we do discussions as well, right? Because there's not always big news every day.
Yeah.
And usually I have got like 20 discussion topics, and sometimes they just get turned into topics for the podcast. There is nothing on there right now. Now part of that's because I've been on the phone for 12 hours the last 2 days. But there's absolutely nothing on the board. So tomorrow, that's goal number 1, is probably before I even check if there's news, which will probably be a mistake because God knows Nintendo will announce something in the morning. I'm going to be trying to come up with ideas for things I could talk about that aren't reliant on news. So we'll see what happens. But right now, yeah, you can count on the stream tomorrow for sure. Hey, I had my stream yesterday without a video. I did the podcast today without a video. So I don't want to say that I'm more of a live streamer now than a video maker, but that's what it is this week so far. And thank you, by the way, to everyone who has supported me on the shows and the stream so far, keeping it going, making it so I'm not seeing a massive revenue drop while I'm on the phone. I really do appreciate it, guys. Like no one likes to deal with insurance agents and loan people, and it's just never fun. So I appreciate all the support. You guys are awesome. All right. That being said, you can find the Nintenbyte Podcast everywhere podcasts are heard. I actually, during this episode, got the audio version up of last week. That's how far behind I've been. It's been a wild week the last week. Busy as hell. But I got that up. We'll go back to putting up clips tomorrow as well over on the Clips channel. So you guys can go check that out. We'll probably have some clips aren't as relevant anymore from the other episode, but we'll get some clips up at least from this one. And we'll also the audio version for this one go up tomorrow as well, because tomorrow I'm no longer on the phone. So I get to actually do work for once. So it's going to be nice. So it's a little refreshing change of pace. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch you same time next week.